reality of the world with which we're presented. It's as simple as that.
And welcome everybody to GLOBEBUSTERS season, whatever we're on, 9, episode 4. Proof of Himawari, the great Himawari, the answer to all, the proof that we all were looking for the whole time that the Earth is a spinning ball. That was a pretty good rhyme right there. Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm your host, Jeran from Jeranism. We've got 2 others with me. We got Iru stranded. I guess he was in a car and got stranded. He sent me a picture to prove it, I guess, in case I was going to fire him or something. But he is not going to be here this week. He'll be back next week. But we do have good times for all. Zack Zabala in the house. Zack, what up, homie?
I think we should do some analysis on that picture and make sure all the license plates
It looked a little
match up
fake
and
to me,
everything.
to be honest. Dude.
Yeah, I could
CG.
go pick a picture of a broken out. I'm just saying. No. Doing good, Jeran. Doing good. Hope you're doing well, man.
I have a funny story. The only time I got suspended in high school was because about, I don't know, it was senior year, maybe it was junior year, late junior year. I had a couple buddies that we'd always drive to school together, and we would carpool. And one morning we're just like, let's just get high, forget about school. You know, all right. So we do that. So we decided to go in about 11. And we just came up with a story like, oh, well, let's just say that the car broke down and the tire popped. All right, we got a flat. Okay, good. We got the story. Good. So we go into the principal's office when we get to school, and we're like, we're late. You know, we had the tire popped. So he's like, all right, you go in that room, Jeran. You go in that room, Sean. You go in that room. So we're like, what? So we went into 3 different rooms, and then he came in and said, just write down for me what tire it was that popped. Oh, F. And all 3 of us got it wrong. All 3 of us wrote down something different, so we all got suspended. Anyway,
That's hilarious. That's a smart,
be careful,
smart man right there.
Very smart. It was like instant too. It wasn't even like he had to think about it. He's just like, oh yeah, all right, you go in that room, you go in that room, you go in that room. And then I'm like thinking to myself, all right, well, if you're getting on the freeway, it would be the left front tire. And then somebody, everybody said something different. Anyway, don't do that. Don't lie to your. Well, don't go to school. That's basically the answer. And we've got
for smart people.
Yeah, and we've got Austin here. Austin, what up? All right, we don't.
How's it going, familia?
How are you, biscuits and gravy this morning?
Yeah.
How was the gravy?
It was cool. It was chill. You know, just like a chill show, just hanging out.
Anytime you're in a robe, it creates a chill show.
Yeah. Yep.
Very
Jealous.
true.
It's a female trait, man. Don't make it weird.
What is wearing a robe?
No, don't be jealous of my robe swag, bro.
Oh,
okay.
You're saying wearing a
everyone
robe is a female trait. I would say absolutely. So don't make it weird.
Too cool for robes.
I was going to be like, I totally agree with you. No, I told you I'm a little hair jealous. I just don't have one, so I can't even participate at all. I don't know. Can we wear like what are those things called? Togas? I could probably make one of those.
I will definitely make an exception for a toga. Yeah.
All right. What do we got for today? We called it the Great Himawari, but we also have. Let me see if we've got him in the chat. I did think I see him. So we were going to have Achilles join us, but I don't know if he has Skype. Achilles, can you let me know in the chat if you have Skype? If not, do I need to sign into Chrome to connect, or is Firefox cool enough? Well, you need to be on Skype, or I can open up a StreamYard for you, but Skype would be easiest. Hey, thank you. New Moon says, shout out to Jeran, Austin, Late Bob, and the whole team. Yeah, I'm here. Sounds crystal clear. Thank you. All right. But yeah, I know you're here, Achilles, but do you have Skype?
And Doug Maurer as well, the winner of the
yes, I believe
last week.
I was checking. Let me check one more time on Telegram to see if he changed his mind. Whenever it works best for y'all, no biggie. I appreciate you guys. Well, it's up to you, Doug. If you can go to Telegram, if you want to be on today, then I'll. If you have Skype, we'll bring you on. No big deal. Or if you want to wait till next week because we didn't really talk this week, up to you. Either way, let us know, and we will do the same thing again. So we're going to just let people join the show as a honorary member of GLOBEBUSTERS for whoever has the largest support tip over at Rockfin. And so we will check back on that later. But if you want to join us, you'll just be 1 week behind Dougie here. But I don't see Doug come back. I appreciate you guys. All right, Doug, let me know in Telegram, and then I got to go back and find what's going on with Achilles. Did he say he has? Okay, second installing now. Okay, great. Yeah, you'll get a username, and then just tell us your username, and I'll add you to the chat.
Yeah, I was looking through some of his videos, man. It's amazing the pictures that he got of the luminaries.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know that was possible. I would have called some of the stuff he did, I would have thought, like, no, that's NASA fakery.
Yeah, I think I would have too. I think this is I don't really know anybody else that was like a hardcore what do you want to call that? A backyard astrologer, or I don't know what you
Yeah.
call it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it would be. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, but somebody who became a flat earther after being that into. I mean, he seemed like he knew the details of his telescope, exactly what he was looking at. You know, he's comparing it to the orbits of the moons of Jupiter, and now it seems. Did you guys see the end of his? I got to show you the end of this video. It's classic. I really enjoyed it. Was it this one that I said? I love the ending. Yeah. Let me show you this video here. I'm going to share my screen and share screen, and you guys should see. Well, right now you see Eminem. Don't worry about that. Something else going on. But you should see OBS now, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I just want to show you the end of his video here. Let's go over to here. And this is not lined up right. There we go. So let's just look at the end of his video here. And I don't know what sound. I think he has music on it. Yeah, I don't want to have music on it. So at the end, luckily I saw the end or I wouldn't have seen this. So he's looking at this in the sky, and then he shows his telescope. And look at the hat. Fake X. NASA going nowhere. Going effing nowhere hat. I think he bought them both. He bought the combo pack. So he immediately gets on the show. So his Meade LX200 is being blanketed with Fake X and NASA going effing nowhere. So we'll see here.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Let me get back over here and get his Skype name. I'm sure he put it in here somewhere.
And people who have those shirts, that's like a collector's item. I wouldn't even wear that thing, dude.
The gray one, no. The gray one that's the going nowhere since 1958. Yeah, that's a collector's
Like less
item.
than 30 of those out there, something like that.
Try L.17. That's your, I don't know if that's a Skype username. L.17. You got that. It's pretty impressive. Let me see. Searching for L.17. I don't know. This person? Say hi with a wave. I don't know if that's you. Just find me. My name's Jeranism on there. Just search Jeranism and then hit contact me, and then I'll see you. That's probably the easiest way to do it, since I don't know if that's really you. But I'll wait for a chat from somebody. Or you can reach out to, I don't know, is any of your usernames easier than mine?
Good times for all.
Good times for all, but you have a weird spelling.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy weird.
Did I tell you one time I couldn't find your channel? It was pissing me off royally.
Dude, I offered a guy $50 if he could find my channel, and he did it in like 20 seconds. I was like, what the hell? I can't even find my channel that fast.
I couldn't find it. Oh, there he is. You are L.17. All right, accept.
Dave said he's going to talk McLooney Tunes into making the biggest donation on Rockfin.
He should do that. I bet you he would. If I messaged him and said, make the largest donation, you can join us on GLOBEBUSTERS, he would be in his height and glory. Probably donate $1,000. Guy just loves us. All right, let's see here. I'm going to add you to the call. If we can add. Sorry, guys. I know this is great radio. Let's find. Where is he? Search a link. Oh, wait. Share a link for others to join? You can do that in a call? I don't know.
I didn't know that.
Oh, wait,
I thought we just would add them.
Yeah, add, but when I put add and when I'm putting L, I don't see the 17 now.
Why don't you just do the
there
calls on Telegram?
I don't know. Does that work?
Yeah, the voice calls and everything is pretty A1.
And then people could share screens or no?
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right, I should be calling you now. L17.
Yeah, I need to get Telegram down. Trouble in Tribune was like, yeah, I'll get a hold of you on Telegram. I went in there. I told him my name was Good Times for All. My name was Zachary Zabala on there. It's been like years since I even looked at Telegram. That thing is impressive.
Yeah, you can change your name too, as long as it's not taken. But yeah, once you go Telegram, you never go back.
Achilles, are you there?
I think so.
Welcome to the show.
I?
You are. You're here. We can hear you.
Welcome.
Welcome. Can you hear me? You can hear Zach? You hear everybody?
Yes, but I'm hearing both streams.
Oh, yeah. You have to turn off the YouTube stream. Just stick to just
Okay.
being on Skype here. While we
Okay.
fix this, and then you should be fine. So,
Yes. How's
go ahead.
the audio?
You sound great.
Okay, good.
You sound better than Iru. So Iru's out, you're in.
Oh, okay, these are some. I don't even know the name. I got them from my Skiller headphones. They work great.
All right.
Skiller.
Scalar.
All right.
All right, so I've got your. I don't know if you wanted to show your channel and talk to us about it, but I guess the thing I'm most interested in is tell us about where you were 10 years ago. Obviously, and I'll show it on the screen just to show people your channel. You were doing lots of observations of planets, of stars, of Venus, Jupiter, Saturn. And then I noticed that now you're watching this show, and I don't think you any longer believe you're on a spinning ball flying through space.
Yep, I don't. It's a process. You like go there in steps. It's not easy.
Right.
And so yeah. First off, if I started out like that, I wouldn't have bought that telescope. I guess everybody understands that that's normal. Like if you believe that you are not in a spinning ball, you don't do that purchase.
Right.
Yeah. If you don't mind me asking, how much was that setup? That was
the telescope itself was. It all started. I wanted to do planets, and I wanted to see them spinning. I could only find pictures online. So what I wanted to do is to watch the planet spin. So I realized back then, many years ago, that to get the better view of a planet, you need the biggest telescope you can get. So I didn't go with the normal route that people go. Oh, Jeran,
yes.
Always remember, hit the gear to always make it 1080p on my videos, because otherwise it's showing you 360p.
Okay.
First off, guys, before we start the discussion, I want to thank you all for everything, for your humor, for your work, for the voice of sanity in this craziness that we're going through these days, that I have once per week your show, and I can enjoy some people not only talking about this issue, but making fun about this issue, because it's, it's humorous. And I count intelligence in sense of humor. The highest your sense of humor, the greater your intelligence, if you ask me. So for me, Jeran is just, you're brilliant, bro. I can't get enough from your jokes about everything. Every time you upload something, it make me laugh and make me feel like I'm not alone in this craziness.
Well, thank you.
So this is very old. This video is a very old video. I didn't even know how to exactly use the telescope, but I am the only one that managed to catch shots of what they called was a comet titled Elenin. It was something real weird back then. But
I was watching that like daily. I was one of those Planet X, Nibiru.
Same here.
Yep.
Same here. I didn't go the normal route that people start with a small telescope and then they get a bigger telescope and then they get a bigger telescope. I waited. I knew that I wanted to do planets. So I waited for the time in my life that I would be able to purchase a big telescope. So that's what I did. I waited for, 10 years until I went to somebody's house and I saw this telescope. I was like, what is that? He said, oh, yeah, it's a telescope. And I'm like, dude, where did you buy that? I want that. I want that now. And I called the what's the name? Anyway, the shop. And they gave me the price. I hated it, but it's been with me for so many years. So it's one of the purchases that I would recommend in the past.
Is it this one here? So it's the LX200. So this is when you were doing a collimation test?
It's a 14-inch, which you saw it in the video. It's very big. So first off,
I've heard that the Meade aren't really as top of the line as they used to be. That's what I've heard. I'm not a telescope guy, but in your experience, has Meade kind of fallen off as far as telescopes go?
The truth is, my truth is that not that I knew that when I purchased it, but then I discovered later that the best optics are on Meade telescopes. But later on, Celestron came out with their HD titled telescopes, which were supposedly very good. But we're talking about the consumer good, because if you want to go really pro, then you have the Takahashi telescopes, which are like 100,000 euros.
Wow.
For small telescopes. Yeah, they don't even come out to the size that this one is.
Have you ever been able to look through one of those at least?
No.
No? Yeah.
No,
Wow. I
never.
would love to. That sounds.
No. The thing is that as I was observing it, how the whole thing for me started, I saw something very weird that I was focused on the moon. And if I turned to another object in the night sky, I didn't have to refocus my telescope. So I said, wait a minute, bro, let's math. That's impossible. So I've made that video titled Refocus, where I have an insect that I take with my DSLR camera. And you notice that you cannot get both the wings of the insect and the head to be crystal clear. That's because the lens works that way. You can either focus on A or something a little further back. If you want to do a picture of something if you want to have both the foreground and the background both in focus, then you need something like a tripod with two pictures. Take one picture of the foreground, take another picture of the background. Or there are some very expensive lenses that can do sort of both. But that's not how they usually work. So in that video, I took that insect. I don't even know what that insect is. It's like a helicopter. We call them helicopters here in Greece. I don't know how you call them. The video is titled Refocus. And it's further up, much further up.
Okay.
So these videos that you're clicking on are very old. I wasn't experienced. I was just trying things because you need a lot of reading. And I'm a guy that wants to try things and then share them, because this channel was never monetized from the beginning. And the reason I created it was to share. If I get the opportunity to know something that you didn't have the chance to find out, then I believe that it's my job to share it to you.
Mm-hmm.
And it was never monetized. And by the way, now that I'm mentioning that, I want to say to people that listening that this doesn't mean that people who do this in the level that you do it don't have some expenses that if people could cover them. It's like if you can't go to war to fight on the front, then at least buy some bullets. Buy bullets to those who are on the front. And concerning this issue that we're talking about, you guys are on the front and you're doing the fight. You're exposing yourselves. You have families. Your families have expenses by themselves. And you're doing this and you're spending so much time here. And the best way for people to show this appreciation is to donate any way they can. I am a premium member of Rockfin as of last week, just so you know.
Thank you.
Because thank you, because I believe what I'm saying. It's not I'm not just saying it. We need to support those people that are helping us open our eyes. You helped me a lot. After I realized what is going on with the refocus problem, I actually didn't know what to do with it. I didn't understand how is this possible. But I said to myself, well, I don't know. I let it go. And then at some point I started hearing this new conspiracy theory out there that that's the one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember now the timestamp for if you let it play without audio,
sure.
So we don't disturb the people. It will go to the insect at some point. It's in the intro. So I just before YouTube caught up on the issue, there were a lot of videos. There it is. And here we have a perfect focus on the wings, but the head is blurred. And that's a problem with lenses. Problem, not problem, but the way they work. It's the way our eyes work too. You are now looking at the monitor, but if you raise your head and look at the wall, if you have a wall there or whatever, your eyes are doing a refocus. They're switching. You can't have both. You can either focus here on the monitor or you can focus somewhere further away. And when Jupiter is, I don't remember the number, but so many thousand times further than the moon, I should have had to refocus. Period. So I've sent you an email on gb at Jeranism. It could be in your junk. And in there, I have a presentation where not only am I outlining my problems with the Juno mission, and I'm not talking about the mythological extension. One word is slipping my head, but I'm talking about the scientific aspect of it, my problems.
Do you want to show us that presentation? Because you could bring it up on your computer and then share your screen, and we would all see it.
In Skype?
Yeah.
Okay, let me try that. I don't want to delay.
So just so people don't
everybody.
know what happened here again, just why Achilles is joining us. So I think I was looking at an old video and I happened to see him chatting, and for some reason he had said something about I put you in my recent video. So I clicked over to watch that recent video and then found his channel, which I thought was peculiar because I started to look, I'll just show you here on the screen. So I started to just kind of go back and say, oh, what has this guy done? Since I'm in, he put me in one of his videos. And so I got to, here and just thought, okay, it looks like he races, dirt bikes. And then as I got down to about here, I started noticing there was a lot of planet photos. And here's this one, smoking Perseid meteors. And then as you go down further, now we've got the rise of Jupiter animation, Jupiter and its moons animation, solar system clocks. I was just kind of like, oh, this is, and then I got to these planets and I was like, wait a second, does this guy have like a good telescope? And it looked like that was the case. And then I was just shocked that usually people like that are not, watching my videos and saying, hey, I put you in my latest video and it's kind of flat earth related and it's, or at least it's deception related. So I just started looking through some of his stuff and then reached out to him and said, do I have this right? Were you formerly, a backyard astronomer and then you found something out about it? And then he said, yeah. So we wanted to get him on the show to find out kind of the progression of that story.
And the mention I did of the very hilarious discussion you had with Brenda, you've had many, but one of them I shared in my latest video titled "It's All the Way to the Top," and it's I think it should be part C of 2023. It's that go all the way to the top. Go all the way to the top.
Okay, I'm here at the top. Oh, part C here, Wabbit Hunt.
Why don't I see that?
Hey, are you looking at Skype?
I have a small delay. Yes. So it should be not the Venus rising, further a little bit out to the left. There it is. And it's Wabbit Hunt. And there I have your discussion with Brenda, which it's where she says, they, all right?
They.
Yeah. That, no, you can't map a flat plane on a globe. You just can't do that. And you just shut her off and you say, well, we can call you she, but we can't do that. Whoever tries to do that, they die.
We can listen to that part here. I think it's on this part. Is this part?
But but my videos are a little bit more. There you go. Yeah, it's the speaker's corner. That's where it is.
Right here.
My videos are a little bit complicated, and I can give you the outline. There is some form of a map to understand everything you are watching. And the map start, but we're going off on another branch now. So let's not go to the presentation with Juno yet. Okay?
Do what?
let's not go to the presentation yet. I have the presentation open.
Okay.
But first off, let's say advertising. To make sense of this channel, it was somebody who had a different life. And then in 2016, started realizing that some people are lying to him. So not only that, I noticed something very weird in our solar system. But I started sharing the experience of my awakening step to step to step, so everybody can do the same thing. What I never started on faith, but I arrived on faith through mathematics and reasoning. So what I'm doing is there's a difference from starting with a pre-belief that things are like that, and you start talking to people, hey, things are like that, without observing them by judging. Okay, so what I did was I started showing some observations. So if you go to playlists, go all the way to the top, okay, go to playlists, and then scroll a little bit down until you find Morpheus. It's titled 2016. There is a small delay in the stream with Skype. So yeah, all the way down, I think, should be the 2016 playlist. There it is.
Okay.
You see more. Yeah, okay. So click on it, and now pause. Let's turn the audio off.
Okay.
And go to the second video that is titled "The Pill." This was you know the movie. So my reasoning is that there is a documentary below, which is 2 hours. Before you watch it, you need to take the pill. You need to either wake up in the world you want to wake up in, or you want to go deeper into what the Matrix is. So here, I've started looking at, I wanted to make, as you saw, I'm making Jupiter animations. We will talk about it. Now pause here. Pause it so I can catch up to it. I'm making Jupiter animations. In order to make, to take a good picture of an object in the sky, it needs to be around your midnight. It needs to be on top, on the zenith of our sky.
Right.
Because otherwise it is diagonally and you're getting more of the atmosphere. So you get a lot of disturbance, and you get another effect, that is that the colors split, which is something that happens with water too. If you throw a beam, a laser inside the water, what's the word? There's a specific word, but it's slipping my head. But the light beam is diverting; it doesn't go straight in. The same thing happens with the atmosphere, and that splits the planet into 2 colors, and it's green on top and red on the bottom. That messes up your processing. So what I wanted to do is to see when Jupiter would be on top. So I go into this program, which is called solarsystemscope.com. And through it, I have an answer to your question on the previous live, Jeran, which was how long does it take for us to meet with Mars? And I looked into it, and it is 22 months. We meet with Jupiter with Mars every 22 months. But here I noticed something very weird to me, that the alignment that you see with the Earth and Jupiter, that it's just beginning there, it's, if you notice the date on the bottom, it's on the 25th of December. And that's what I label in the video the birth of the year, because I was already aware about something going wrong with worshiping the sun and not Jesus. Jesus was not born that day. Something off about my phone had to ring right now. Can you give me a second?
Sure.
Because it's my sister. I got to check it out. Okay.
No problem. We'll be back with you. So, yeah, we'll have him discuss a little bit more of his journey, because I would like to know how How he
All
came
good.
back.
No,
Let me
no.
mute him if I can.
No, no, no.
There.
Thank you. The name is Philip.
Oh, wait, maybe he's come back. Oh, he might have done it. We still here? Where you still go?
Oh, I'm muted him.
Oh, good. Thank you. Appreciate that. So we were going to talk about Himawari, and I'll actually show some people what I wanted to show, and then see if people have an answer for it, and maybe you can even see it. Let me go here.
I can't believe they even still bring up Himawari as anything.
Well,
After what you guys found in there, in the metadata, how it has the blue marble programmed into the metadata. You're not looking at a video, a still image that was taken. You're looking at a computer program.
well, what I
The
think
same one that's on your iPhone.
That's actually good that you say that, because this isn't going to get to that point. But what people need to recognize is that we need to stop treating space agencies like they're different than everything else, right? So, for example, it's 2023. There is zero reason that we wouldn't have a 24-hour video of the Earth from space. We showed you guys those crazy pictures of Saturn, right? Different angles. They're under the rings. They're on top of the rings. You can see the hexagon on the north. Have you ever seen a picture of space from space of the North Pole of the Earth? You have not. Have you ever seen a picture from space of the South Pole of the Earth? You have not. That's a problem. Wake the hell up and stop accepting their shitty answers like, oh, they have better things to do than what you flat earthers want. No, they don't. We pay their salary. You pay their salary. The very first thing that NASA should be doing is making sure that the people of Earth have a picture of where they effing live. That's number one. So we need to stop making excuses for them or being like, oh, well, you get these pictures every 10 minutes. It's like, what are we talking about? In what area of the world do we need to wait 10 minutes to get a picture of something? Nowhere. And so it's not even 10 minutes. I mean, you can look here. This is 12:30. This is, oh, you can't see that. Wonder why my browser doesn't show that. Anyway, I can see that it says.
Well, they're putting a rover on the moon, right? They should be able to just look up.
Right. Should be easy. Should be easy. Right here, it's 5:28 at 12:30 is the last photo. So if you don't know, it's right now 12:55. So don't let somebody tell you that it's every 10 minutes just because at the end of the day, you're going to have a photograph for every 10 minutes. It's 12:30 right now. I'm sorry. It's 12:30 is the last image that we have, and it's almost going to be 1. So it's a half hour. What are they doing? What possible thing could they be doing to a photograph that takes a half hour to turn it to the public? And people accept this. Globers accept this. This is why I know they're disingenuous. This is why I know they don't really care about the truth. If they did, they would recognize there's a problem with this. And they would say, yeah, let's ask, how come we can't get, if it's just a photograph, you're taking a photo, then it should be 1 minute. But you know what they're doing is they're compiling cloud data. How do we know that? Because Bryant said, oh, it's impossible. There's no way that they could be faking it because you couldn't get that much. You would need tons of balloons. Well, guys, remember we told you there is 1,000 balloons that go up twice a day 1,000 locations a day send up 2 balloons a day. So it's 2,000 balloons, but let's just say there's 1,000. Okay, why can't I find a picture of the full Earth here? Okay, there we go. A little better. So if we just think about 1,000 balloons, right? So you can figure out how far a balloon at 100,000 feet can see just based off if you use the curvature math, because we know that that's just perspective reversed. So if you go to the curve calculator, is he? I don't know if he's back. We can get into this later if he is, but Earth curve calculator. I just want to show you how we can use that to kind of determine, is it, I never can, he used to show up first and now I never find it. What is this one? I don't like this one. Where's the other guy that has the, oh, here it is, this one. All right, so if we do an eye height of 100,000 feet, and some balloons can go taller than that, but let's just say on the low end, you're talking about if we do 250 miles, let's see how far we can see on that. Nope, we can see that far. So can we do 350 miles? Yes, we can see that far. Can we do 400 miles? No. So we all of a sudden we get to the point where we start to have hidden target height, which means we can't see that. They say it's because of the globe. We say it's because of perspective. So let's go 375. Okay, so 375, we'll just keep it there.
Wow.
That means that that's we can...
Right on.
Yeah, so we can see 375 is as the radius of a circle from a balloon. So that means that we can see 375 times 2, which would be 750, correct? So think about that now. You're talking about 750 miles in a circle off one balloon. So it's like when you hear people like Brian say, oh, it would take so many balloons and all this stuff. Well, not really. So if we just take, like, I'm just going to draw a picture here just to kind of give you an idea. We know that the globe Earth, they say, is 25,000 miles in circumference at the equator, right? So if we had a circle that was, what did we say, 750 miles in diameter, then how many of those circles would you need side by side to get across the entire width of the Earth? Well, you would need 25,000 miles divided by 750, and so we get 33. So you only need 33 balloons going east to west, and then you would need 33 balloons going north to south. Let's say you took a number like the perimeter, or the meridian, right? You would need 33 balloons going north to south like this. But then you would just need to cover in these gaps with one extra balloon per each thing. Now remember, that's not multiplied across the whole Earth, because on the globe it's going to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So you would need less and less balloons, meaning 1,000 is more than enough to cover the entire Earth by far. It's probably
and
more.
70% of
is water. Right, where they could totally make up the cloud data. They don't really need to know the exact cloud data. Nobody's out in the Pacific Ocean like, I saw Himawari showed this cloud here and it's not really there. It's just not going to happen, right? So you really don't need, all I'm trying to point out is what that number would be probably 100, 150 balloons, right? So when we know that there's 1,000 balloons going up that is known taking weather data, then
this is twice a day, folks. Twice a day.
Why would you need that? Why would you need that if you have satellites that are looking at the whole Earth? They see all the clouds. You don't need 1,000 balloons twice a day from 1,000 locations. So, or 2 balloons from 1,000 locations. So anyway, once you get to this Himawari, but this is what I wanted to show you that I found that I think is crazy. So if you zoom in here, and I've never seen this before until recently, and then I went back and checked, and it's in every single image. So I'm going to get as close as I can to, and I'm going to hope it comes through, and it might be hard to see. And let this refocus. Get it a little bit closer. Okay, you can kind of see it here already. So do you see that there are horizontal lines going across the white part? Do you see these? Or can you not see that because it's too? So if you can't see it, you'll have to go to yourself. Just search Himawari 8. You're going to take your zoom in as far as you can, and you can only see it over white sections.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Okay, so when I saw this, I was like, what is those? What could that be from? So I started to look up horizontal lines on my photographs. Why is there horizontal lines on my photographs? Why, horizontal artifacts in my photographs? And you know what it said? It came back every time. It says, "Are you sure you're not taking a picture of a screen?"
Wow.
It said if you're taking a picture of a digital screen, then you'll never be able to get the frame rates correct, and you're going to get artifacts like horizontal lines in your photos. So I thought that was incredible. I was like, because you can't see it over the blue. There's just no way to see it.
Can I add something?
Yeah, please.
Okay, but I think that these are part of. This is not a live image. It's been scanned and printed on a monitor. These look more like a program creating this image.
Yeah, I think so too.
Line by line, and it shows like that.
Right, and if that was happening, to print out like line by line, like he's saying, some sort of program, then how long would that take? Well, now you're talking about 10 or 15 minutes. So now It makes sense why we don't get these images for 10 or 15 minutes. So when people want to tell you that this is proof, you know what would be proof? Is a 24-hour camera sitting in space, showing this always happening, showing, seeing the Earth spin, seeing the sun come around during an eclipse. Now, I'm not saying that if they put one out tomorrow that I'd be like, okay, now I'm a globe earther. Because I recognize that ever since we started mentioning things like, why is there no 24-hour sun footage in Antarctica? All of a sudden, these fakes and nonsense shows up. So it wouldn't surprise me if this stuff shows up after. But just be smart enough to recognize the year that we're in, how easy it is to have. You can go to webcams, and there's webcams anywhere. Webcams, just webcams live. There's tons of them. I think there's a 24-hour webcam of Andy Warhol's grave. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, pick your hometown. There's probably one there somewhere.
Right. So
it's crazy how many there are. Yeah,
it's insane. Oops, I didn't want to go there. Hello. Great. For now, my browser histories. I thought this was girls. Not the kind of webcam I was talking. Here we go. It's a little better. So I mean, you can just find nonstop webcams here, and they're all a lot of them are 24 hours. So to think that there's some reason why, as human beings, we wouldn't expect to have a live video of the Earth is just a joke. It's a joke, and I'm tired of having to hear Globers make up excuses like, well, they have other things and it takes long to get the photos from space. It's like, shut up. None of that makes any sense.
Advertising.
Yeah, think of the advertising.
You could sell on that.
It'd be the #1 viewed website on the internet. Just earth.com or something. And you go there and
people would have it as their homepage.
Absolutely. So it just doesn't make sense. Unless you're one of these fanboys that makes an excuse no matter what, which many of them are, then that's the only excuse you can have. And if you just admit to yourself, I'm a fanboy, no matter what NASA does to me, no matter how many times they hit me, no matter how many times they tell me to bend over, I'm just going to do it and I'm just going to argue on their behalf. Admit that to yourself and that's fine. But understand it's not weird that we're doing the questions that we're asking. It's not strange that we think that we should have a photo of the Earth or a video of the Earth. It's not strange. It's actually what a normal human being would get to a point and be like, hey, wait a second. Where I live, there's some agency that we've all been giving money to. Like, you guys forget the $70 million a day they get is from us. So they don't get to decide, oh, well, we have more important things to do. No, not really. If I was asking you to, I don't know, wipe my shoes or something like that, maybe you'd have a point. But not when I'm saying you don't have a picture of where we live for the people here who supply you with your money, your salaries, all those crafts you think you put up there, everything that you're doing. That's the money. You didn't come up with that money. So
no, it's easier for the government to break the law and make companies forcibly censor us. Stand before Congress and promise to censor us.
Right.
That's easier than just putting up a camera somewhere.
It just doesn't make any sense.
May I jump in?
Yeah, please. Go ahead.
So first off, when I started realizing that there is something really sinister going on here, because as we talked about, I used to think as everybody on this earth does. It's not like we're telling people that they're stupid. We also thought that we're spinning.
Right. And one thing I want to bring up real quick while you say that what I think is amazing is that you have to also remember that what he's saying is so true when he said that when he finds something that others don't know, he feels it's his responsibility to tell them. We all feel that way. So another thing that I hear Globers say all the time is that, oh, flat earthers just want to be special that they know something you don't. That's the dumbest thing there has ever been. There's not one flat earther who holds information.
Why would we be sharing it if it made us feel special?
Right. Why would we tell everybody else, I want more people to feel special like me? No, it's because we feel like we have a duty that, like I said, when I found what I found, I said, you know what? It's not fair to other people who don't have a chance to look into it like I have to just assume that there's no other model besides the globe Earth. I just wanted people to know, hey, I'm looking at this other thing and it looks like there's a possibility that I might lean that way. And I think it's only fair that every human has at least the opportunity to say, no, I don't think the flat earth is true. I've looked into it and it's garbage. That's fine. You have that right to do that. But I think that everyone deserves to at least take a second and say, okay, hold on. Is there a reason why they taught us flat earth is so dumb? Why they, everything's inverted? Why would you believe these people who lie to you about everything? Why would we say, oh, but they're telling the truth about space? That's an insane belief. It would be the opposite of that, right? It'd be like, oh, they tell us the truth about everything on the ground, but you know what? They might be lying about space. That would make sense. But when they lie about everything on the ground, you can't then say, oh, but the place I'll never go to, that they're telling me the truth about. That's just dumb. But go ahead, back to you, Achilles.
Completely agree. They've been telling us the truth about everything all along. Everything that's going on, we're getting the truth about it. So on that issue, why would they lie?
Right.
So when I went through the process too, I looked into it like seriously. I wanted to find proof to disprove the conspiracy theory that the world is a flat place. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't find them anywhere. I found a live webcam from Antarctica, the Arctic, and it said it's a live feed. And I'm like, okay, this is where I'll get my proof. And I kept watching it to watch the sun do the circle on the shadow that they had there. They had something like a flag. Right. And at some point, it cuts and it goes through, and you can see that it's not a continuous video, although it presents itself as being a continuous video. But people don't go into the length of actually watching what they went there to watch. They read the title. The title says live spacewalk from NASA, and it's like 6 hours long. And people are like, I'm not going to watch that. Right. As long as the title exists, it must be true. Well, use your eyes. God gave you eyes so you can use them. They're not using it. They're so blindly believing that they wouldn't be lying to them that they don't even open their eyes. And that's a big problem because we've turned science into faith. We're believing them. And it's something you guys have been repeating. You don't need me to repeat it once more. But what I am a testimony of somebody who went through steps of realizing it. And I put them, all those steps, in those videos. And okay, so first off, I do have the presentation ready. I'm not, but this is about Juno, the spacecraft, which is a complete joke. But if you have the tab open with the other one, there is a problem. Yeah, there is a problem that we have right now, and that is that people are running out of time to realize the truth. Because there is something called the Great Deception, and it is about to unroll. And if they are not ready for it, and it's very simple, if we can't go out, nothing can come in. It's that simple. If we can't go out because there is a firmament, then nothing can come in, because aliens are about to come. And people are going to blindly fall for it, just as it happened with something big that happened 3 years ago. And people were like, please, social distance, social distance.
Should we go? You want to go over to Rockfin if you're going to be, are we going to get into stuff like that? We can go over to Rockfin now.
Okay. That's why I kept it on my keywords a little bit safe.
Yeah, it's good. You're safe for forever. I'm no worries yet, but I'm just saying, if you want to go deeper into that, we can go over to Rockfin.
Okay, we will. But the thing is that there is a great deception that we were chosen by God to live in, and during a chess game, you don't put your best pieces immediately out there. You wait for the end game. So if somebody is alive today and we're going through the end game, which is a great deception that is about to unroll, to completely hide God from our eyes, and we've been warned about it from apostles and from Jesus. And Paul is saying in Thessalonians, the book of Thessalonians, that a big lie will unroll because people deserve it. Because God will allow this lie to unroll because people chose to believe in bullshit instead of looking around.
You know, it's so interesting, bro. It also says in Enoch that, like, in the end, the true nature and order of the stars will be concealed from the sinners. And when it talks about the great deception, it says they'll become completely deluded and lose awareness of the fact that the earth was brought up out of water in the beginning. So it says that it'll actually have something to do with the sky, on how they understand the sky and how the earth itself exists and was made. And here we are. And
that's crazy, because today you were talking, was it this morning you were talking, Austin, about America being the first land out of the water? Yeah, I found some Masonic literature that said that,
Okay. I haven't read the Book of Enoch because I actually don't trust it, because it came out very late, and they found a verse inside the Bible that says that Enoch prophesied. And they used that phrase and created a whole book of prophecy that we can't verify that is the word of God. And how do we verify that the rest is the word of God? Is the fact that everything reflects from verse to something that was said in the past from somebody else, and it's very magical. And it's been a process with me to arrive to it. It's not like I didn't come here as a pre-belief. I didn't arrive at it pre-believing into it. But going back to the video that we have on the monitor, all I wanted to do was record Jupiter. That's all I wanted to do. So I realized that we meet with Jupiter on the 25th of December of 2013. That was the time. So if you press play without audio, I'm wondering, wait a minute, is that happening every year? Or is this a coincidence? So I rolled back time and I saw that the previous time that this happened was on 2001. And yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Okay.
Okay.
So just going time back here, and we see that we meet with Jupiter every 13 months. So last year, from then was November the 12th, 2012, November, 2011, October, and then September, August, July, June, May, and we will arrive to 2001. And the song we're listening to is Radiohead, who are saying this on the bottom left. So pause here. So I knew at that time, years before that, I knew that, go back some seconds and please pause. Okay, pause here. Just pause. So I knew that we're stepping into the Aquarius age, and there would be a 12-year introductory period to the 2000-year Aquarius age. That's something I had caught somewhere. My ears had caught it somewhere, that there would be some introductory age to the Aquarius age, and it would be 12 years. So on 2001, the introduction was spinned towards fear through something that happened on September of 2001.
Mm-hmm.
And now on this video, we were 12 years after it. So it made me realize that there was this solar system clock, because this video that we're watching, I had already uploaded it as a solar system clock before I realized what it means. And it looked to me like a clock that told us that this is the introductory period, these 12 years that started in 2001, and then we step into January of 2002, and it would last until January 2014. So this playlist then continues to explaining the things that started happening from 2014. And on part G, then H, then I, first off, one video per month. I made one video and then I realized more. So I made another video. So I realized more. Then I made another one. So then I realized I need to upgrade my computer because I'm realizing things and the computer is not catching up to me. So then I became like a full-time one video per month about this deception that is unrolling. And before the deception unrolls, the church, not the church, the bride of Christ, what Christ would call his bride. Now that's very special, to be called the bride of Jesus. You should be very special to be that. It will be raptured. It will be taken from the earth and will disappear. When that happens, they have the play button ready, and some will appear on our TVs and they're going to tell us it's us who took them. And all you need to do is do this, do that, do things that we can't talk about, and you will go join those that left, because the enemy will not allow the people to realize that there is only one book that talked about a rapture, because that would make us arrive to the truth. So he has a deception ready. When that happens, they will just press play. They're preparing for it already. Part of it is realizing not realizing, is believing that we are in this space system and anything could happen. At any given time, we could be hit by a meteorite and we could all just poof, like the dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
But it hasn't happened. Not since the dinosaurs. It has never happened. So why? So anyway, if we were, don't press play. If we were to press play now, you will the video shifts by saying through the mouth of Tom York of Radiohead. He says it's too late now because you have not been paying attention. And this is where I start throwing a lot of Saturn imagery to say that I've been looking at the wrong effing planet. I was looking at Jupiter, but my problem is Saturn. And the reason they have this Saturn worship is because according to mythology, Greek mythology, Saturn was the father of Jupiter. He was the god before the gods. So what they're trying to do is to take us back to pre-Christianic deities. And they've given us some imagery of Saturn from its North Pole,
Mm-hmm.
which is supposedly a hexagon.
Right.
Inside a hexagon, you can fit a cube. If you take a cube on a 3D and you draw the outline of the cube,
Mm-hmm.
you get a hexagon. So it has 6 sides, it has 6 corners, and it has now let me see how this is in English because I know it in Greek. If you divide it in 6 different places, it's always symmetric. If you put a straight line on the hexagon, it's symmetric wherever you put it on the 6 corners. So that creates 6-fold symmetry. It's called. It's not easy for me to translate it because I can Google it. I can.
I get so far.
Give me a minute.
How long have you been speaking English? You speak English very well.
I have you to thank for that, Americans, and your hospitality, because some coincidences happened in my life, and I ended up studying on an American university outside LA and complete my degree there. It didn't start that way, but I completed it there. And so this goes out to you. Thank you for your hospitality, because I spent 2 years over there. How beautiful Los Angeles was. And I was actually blessed to be able to experience that, because a lot of people from Europe get to go to New York or maybe Miami, but to go all the way to the other side is pretty far. It's pretty far.
I've never even been that far.
And when I was flying in with the airplane, of course, I would see a curvature because my eyes would see a curvature. But when we arrived on New York and I would see the land first time, it wasn't New York that I was expecting. So we started from top and we started coming in from, Alaska, or it's not Alaska. Alaska is on the west side. I don't know how that place is called.
Yeah, it's like Canada up there.
Yes, and I started saying, wait a minute, this is not New York. Why are we going northbound? I couldn't understand. But if I understood back then, I don't know, maybe I wouldn't have come back. By the way, I was studying computer science, and we received an invitation. All those that were in that university, we received an invitation from JPL to continue our studies there.
Really?
And our teacher, our computer science head of the department, said that, guys, because you are Greeks, and Greeks are well known for their understanding, their mathematics and stuff, if you just say yes, there will be no tests. They will just take you, and you're going to be working for NASA.
Wow.
And guess what? Everybody denied. Not a single person of the Greeks said yes. So I'm honored to be one of them that said no, because probably now I would be globetard or dead.
Yes, probably.
So now, back to the deception. The deception is bigger. For me, if somebody goes through the playlist, we talk about the shape. I'll just call it that. We talk about the shape only on parts G, H, and I. That's it. Then we move on. And the thing is that they've made us worship some pre-Christianic God, and Jesus or Apostle John told us his name. If you go to BibleHub.com and you punch in 9/11 Revelation, it gives you two names. It says in the Hebrew, his name is Abaddon, and in the Greek, his name is Apollyon. Now, it doesn't say in the Greek language. It says in the Greek, period, comma. All the English translations, that parentheses, they are evil. And if somebody wants to know truly what the Bible says, they need basic understanding of Greek. But if that is too scary, at least you can verify through this site that is titled Bible Hub. You can verify all the translations in one page. And when you see that something is off from translation to translation, then you can go to the Greek and look up the word, what the real word is, and Google it. So you don't really have to know Greek all the way, just basic stuff. So in the Greek, his name is Apollyon. So what I did is realize that it doesn't mean language, because if it meant language, it would have told us so. It would say in the Greek language, but it says in the Greek. So if you look up the Greek culture of the time, the sun god was named Apollo. He's also the god of music. Who is running the music industry? Is he a friend? He's also the god of medicine, but also the god of plague. And he's also the god of fortune telling. And the Bible told us 2,000 years before today that I don't know what you're going to say, guys. I'm going to give you his name and you look it up. But nobody's looking it up. What we're doing is saying his name is Apollyon, which if you break it down in Greek means he will destroy everything. Well, yeah, but that's not what it's saying. It's not saying in the Greek language. So, just letting you know that they've made us sun worshippers. What Jeran has perfectly said, and I just love it and used it on my latest video. If you see the Euro ritual, every single song had the sun on the background. Here's the hexagon. Every single song had the sun on the background. And Jeran has perfectly titled this Heliosexuals. They've made us that. They make us worship the sun when we are the center. We've turned the sun into the center. And they put down some mathematics that they figure out that nobody is going to sit down to verify. And you've said everything. I don't want to repeat the same to people who are listening, that the Earth tilts on the 23.4 degree angle. But if you deduct that from 90 degrees, then that's 66.6. We're going around the sun with the speeds. It's always 66, always sixes. So this picture that Yes, fake. Thank you very much. There's something funny, and I wanted to give you an update. Jeran, on one live you said that they upgraded, quote unquote, the Mars rover, and now it will keep on going.
Yeah, it's a software. They just send a little update to it.
Yeah, they just send the software update, and now no problems. We'll give you
So
shit.
can they do that to a car that the battery runs out? Can they just send it a program?
They also have an update for when they need to dust it off. That's why
If-
you see
If
pictures
you
of
have
it
a
all covered
Tesla,
in dust.
maybe. If you have a Tesla, maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't trust that one.
No,
What'd you say?
I said that if you have a Tesla, maybe they can do it. So I wouldn't trust that car. You're hearing me?
Yep.
You're hearing me?
Go ahead.
I guess.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. So, Jeran, I have news for you now. They did the same to Voyager. All these images that you're showing us right now are from the Voyager. So, guess I'm gonna read it to you because I took a picture of it and it's in English. It's I found it on a Greek site and it's in English. So the title is NASA Power Hacks. Power Hacks.
Mhm.
All right. Let that sink in. It's power hacked.
Well, everything
The
is
Voy-
anything that it says. But if it ever says NASA says anything after that is true. So just want to point that out.
Exactly.
Okay.
So those great scientists, what they did was they power hacked the Voyager 2,
Mhm.
which is now much further than the whole solar system.
Right. 13 billion, I think.
Yeah, and they power hacked it, and it will extend its life for 45 more years.
Yeah. Mhm.
So yeah, I wish I could power hack because that's what I do. I am a computer freak.
Why don't you
I
prove?
do
Why don't
stuff-
you prove it's a lie? That's what we get from these people. They tell us that-
Exactly.
You gotta
Prove
watch-
it's a lie.
Yeah, you got to watch. Austin did a good. Which one was that, Austin? Where you were talking about that recently? It's probably a week ago. Was it School in the Globers? I'm not sure which one it was, but Austin was going.
I
into
remember.
detail.
I remember. I was hearing it. So the interstellar traveler is gradually losing power, but a clever tweak means it can now continue running all of its scientific instruments,
Yeah.
and it's at 12 billion miles away from Earth.
Mhm.
So anyway, when I was into looking into it with my telescope and stuff, which now, by the way, when people ask me how much can I get the same telescope, I'm like, what do you want it for? They say to take pictures of the sky. And I'm like, okay, well, have you looked into how much boats cost? And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, if I were you, I would buy a freaking boat and go fishing because that's much more value because you're gonna eat something than spending all that money for things that I don't know. It's like we have a ceiling and you buy a magnifying glass to look at the ceiling.
Right.
So the pictures that you're showing us are from Voyager. But I then started realizing that, wait a minute, there is no Voyager. It has never been there. I actually believed that there must be something really crazy going on there at Saturn with this hexagon, and it destroys the physics that we understand right now. And wow, I was mind blown when I saw that. But then the truth sinked in. And concerning the truth, may I switch to religion again?
Yep.
Um,
Just like I want to be done with the presentation by 2, so you have about a half hour total. So if you want to, I don't know how long your presentation is, but go ahead, continue on.
Oh, the presentation is quick because that shit is a joke.
Okay.
I made it
you can cover
very
whatever
fast.
you want. You can cover whatever you want. If you want to do more
Okay.
risque things, just tell me and we'll go to Rockford.
I think the most important thing to talk about now from me is to let you know that Jesus said that Satan is a liar, and if his lips are moving, lies are coming out of his mouth. And when it comes to himself, he said, I am the truth. So I want you to imagine that there is this road. On one side, it has the truth, and on the other side, it has the lie. You can't go to the truth with lies. And you can't go to lies, to the end road, to the end goal of being lied to through truths. If you discover one truth, it takes you closer to the truth. So there is a lot of debate today about whose truth is better. I have my truth, you have your truth, so we should be respecting each other's truths. And here I come to say the following to those people that say that. According to the ancient Greek word for truth that we're using till this day, the word truth, if you break it down, is A plus a word. When you add the letter A in front of a word, it negates the word. It's a negating. It's like we're saying no something. So the word is aleithia, and lithi, if you've heard it before, is deception. So the word truth in Greek breaks down to no deception. If you have 10% of deception inside your truth, then it's not the truth. It's part of the truth, it's 90% truth, but it's not the truth, because the truth is no lie. And it doesn't care. The truth is. If I go outside now, here we have night, and if I insist to somebody that we have daytime, it doesn't care. The night is. It doesn't care what I think. So it's my job to go out there and check for myself, because it's only evidence that will prove what is true and what is not. So in order to wrap something up, so sorry guys for talking for too long, let me just say that this is that's what this playlist in my channel is in 2016, is the process that I went through, realizing some lies and presenting them and the truths that I found about them. So at some point, I realized that we're dealing with something that is called demons, and like a demonic lie, like when something is too smart, we call it satanically smart. And then I said, somebody came to my house at the time and they said, if I believe in some clouds, that they are weird and they are saying that they are spirits, that they are protecting us, they are some benevolent spirits. So I made a statement in the video titled Part D, The Great Deception Part D. I made a statement that I don't believe in benevolent spirits. I believe in demons and in Jesus. And when I did that, there are some verses in the Bible that are saying that if you confess with your heart that Jesus is, then Jesus will confess your name to his Father. So that's where my mind started really opening up. It all starts with you confessing that you've realized what Socrates talked about, which is that if I know one thing, is that I don't know anything. That's the only thing I can take for granted, that I don't know. So once we arrive there as minds, and we realize that God could be real, and he would probably love me so much as to sacrifice his own son, when I arrived to that realization, that's when he really opened my mind. And then my videos started getting very weird. All right, I'm just gonna make a pause.
Okay, do you want to show your screen? You want to do the presentation?
Yeah, well, tell me, I'm on the online Skype because I realized that I didn't have to install it. So I'm on the online and I'm not sure how do I share the screen.
There should be a button on the bottom that says share screen. I'm going to stop sharing mine.
Raise hand, react, chat, captions, invite, record participants. I don't see it here. View, speaker view, show me the call screen, enter full screen. Read
everything on the bottom. You don't see anything that says share screen. You might not be able to do it unless you do download it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, probably I'll have to download. If somebody wants to check out the gb@jeranism.com email, it should be in your junk. If you didn't find it, it should be in your junk.
I don't think I have access to that email address.
Oh, it's in the description of the channel.
Yeah,
In
but,
about.
but Bob has that.
Oh, rest in peace. So we don't have that anymore.
Not right now.
Okay.
What is it on? Is it on a PowerPoint?
Yeah, well, I can actually read because it's just letters, nothing more. So I'm saying the problems with Juno, with Juno is the right pronunciation, Juno.
And Juno's the Jupiter craft, right?
Yes, which is the name of a pagan goddess,
Yes.
which is the wife of Zeus, Hera.
Yep.
So we're dealing here with mythology, and people call it science.
Right.
They're lying to our face, and they're using all mythological names. By the way, so before I get to the presentation, I understand the process on the previous video, and it was very confusing to you and to the viewers. So let me explain.
Okay.
If we go, if you watch the video, which is part A, I show that there is this very weird square happening with the 4 big planets of our solar system that they are telling us that they are gas giants. There was a perfect square happening with those. And the second planet, which is Aphrodite, Venus, to the rest of you, it's the same Aphrodite. Yeah, keep going with the thumbnails so I can tell you where it is.
I'm on A.
I know, I can see it, but
okay, not that one.
Oh, okay, I can do it. I don't understand why. I can browse through. It's like you've given me control. What? Oh no, I'm going on the stream. Okay, so please just go to the as you are. Don't go away. How do you call that? The thing that shows the bar that shows you the preview of the video. If you scroll your mouse over it, if you mouse over the time bar, go back to part A as you were.
I'm there.
Okay, let me get the Skype monitor back up. Share your picture with Skype because I get a delay on the.
Yeah, I didn't share it again. All right, it's back now. Now you should see it.
Okay. So if you keep going, further, and maybe towards the middle somewhere, I will tell you where. Further back. Okay, keep going. What I do is I make something like a movie, and it takes you through.
Right here.
So yeah, somewhere here. So I will go to on top very soon. So you see Jupiter over there, and CERN powered up that day. And can you see where Saturn is? And notice where your anus is. What's the best way to pronounce that planet?
I would say Ernest, just so you don't have to say Ernest.
Okay. So if you go a little bit faster, we will go to a top view very soon.
Okay, I'll just leave it there for now.
Okay. Look at this. Look at this square. Now pause here.
Okay.
These are the 4 giants of our solar system. And there are some mythological stories about 4 giants being imprisoned inside a prison. So how many were the chances for the second planet of the solar system to get out of a square that would be done from those 4 planets? Because that's what happened in 2015. I think it is 15. I'm not sure. So if you now let it play, you will see that Venus is breaking the prison and it's getting out of it. And because this is a very big moment, I thought it to be. I put the right kind of music to escort you as you understand where I'm going with this, because all hell broke loose from then on. I'm a little bit audio guy, and I have, yeah, you will see why this date matters if you go step by step. It's very hard for me to explain what I'm showing right now because it's parts that somebody that has made it to this part of the video understands from the previous ones. Okay, and that's the problem with my videos. I don't make them as separate episodes. It's like the things I realize. Now, if you notice the positions that these planets have right now, yeah, it's hard to explain now what that is. But if we then there is this video from UNESCO that came out. And if you pause, we started out from somewhere. And the positions are the exact as I'm showing on that. They've made a whole animation for this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And they arrive at an eclipse. Anyway, this shit I thought was crazy. It started opening my eyes. The name Concordia doesn't come from me. It comes from, I didn't just come up with it. It comes from the series titled Visitors. And the leader of the aliens was saying that we are going to build this thing that we will call Concordia. And people will think that it's a good thing. By the time they realize it wasn't a good thing, our craft will be ready to land. So I looked it up mythologically, and Concordia is the daughter of Venus and Mars, but it's not, she was with somebody else, and she went with Mars, because if you don't know Aphrodite or Venus, let me just put it out there now for her to hear, she was the prostitute of Greek mythology. There is no god that she didn't go with. And she has some children. Concordia is one of them, and the name of it translates to harmony. She has a brother, Eros, which is a little kid with an arrow that shoots arrows wherever he thinks it's best to shoot them, because he's a kid. Because that's what a very busy mother would do. It would give her child something to play with, and she would go about her business. And the third child is hermaphrodite. Now you all know what that means. And we live in crazy days concerning this issue. I didn't even realize when I made that. But I hope people will start looking into it, because it's these things that led me to realize that there is more than the things I can see with my eyes. My mind needs some assistance to see the proof that they're lying to me, to see the proof that these are bigger than what I thought them to be. And if my mind needed that, then I suppose people also would at the time need some proof. I didn't get as you said, it's not, people say that, oh, you just jumped on the train with a flat thing. Why? Was this the popular thing? Like, I knew that, oh, wait a minute, if I jump on that train now, people will like me. It's the exact opposite. So the same thing happened with me, because I had a completely different life, and I started talking to people about these things, and they're like, ha, 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 the guy's crazy. But we've arrived at some very weird things after that. So,
how is it like in Greece? Are there a lot? Do you hear people talk about flat Earth ever, like when you're out and about?
No, not at all. I actually met with, back then in 2016, I met with the only guy who had a channel about this. And we met somewhere and in the middle, sorry. And every shop was closed. We wanted to go have a coffee and talk about it. And we started looking for a cafeteria to get into, and we found one. So we're like, whatever, it's not the best, but let's get in here and sit down and have a coffee. And we get in, and the theme of the cafeteria was globes.
Oh, imagine that.
All the lamps around us were globes. There was a globe on top of us. There was a globe on the next table. There were globes everywhere. And we were like, man, what is going on here? So, yeah, that was crazy. But, yeah, it's not very popular here. And people are like, what, you are one of those? No, I don't even want to hear it. Because
I know there are
Go.
probably a lot of closet ones. One of them, definitely, I know I've spoken to him. He is a professor of physics for one of the universities in Greece. And
Great.
really, Bob introduced me to him, but he had many conversations with this gentleman. And he was helping us do a lot of the math for the drop test that I'm going to do.
Through your feature, some people at my channel said that we are waiting for you there, or we heard about you there, and they were in Greek. So I realized there that there are people. They're just not out there, because there's something with Greeks. They won't go just out there shouting about it. They'll just, open their eyes, look into things. Nobody's forcing them to make statements. So we are Greece is like the balloon that, oh shit, crazy word to use. But it doesn't pop. It doesn't, you can't hear it until it pops. Keep that in mind.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I like that analogy.
We've been into a lot of crazy stuff for many years. They've been telling the world that we are the problem of the world. We are the economic whole of this earth. And nobody looks into NASA's numbers. By the way, now that I mentioned that, I do have an interesting new number for you guys here. And it's the world's mega projects, estimated cost of selected mega projects currently under construction globally. The 10T core transportation network of the European Union is $600 billion US.
Jeez.
The NEOM city of Saudi Arabia is $500 billion US. Then you have the Gulf Railway, I don't know, Persian Gulf, I don't even know where it is, probably the railway of the Gulf. $250 billion, and the International Space Station comes fourth with $230 billion. So anyway, Greece is waking up not only to the deception, but to the fact that somehow it is in the center of the deception. Because even the guy that I mentioned as the name of our enemy is from here. So what is the name of the space program that we've been having for so many years? The one taking us to the moon?
Artemis?
Apollo?
Oh, okay, got you.
Okay. The new one, now that we are re-going, quote unquote, what is the name of the new one? Artemis.
Yeah.
Yes. Who is that? It's his twin sister. So if you look into it, they are the only murderous gods. You didn't just fuck with Apollo and Artemis. They just kill you. They don't care. They don't care about your life. Somebody saw Artemis naked, and he was a hunter, and he just met her in a cave, and she was naked. So she turned him into a deer, and his dogs ate him. His dogs went for the deer, and they ate him. You remember in the Matrix movie, there was a character called Niobe. In mythology, Niobe was one that said, look at my children. I have so many, and they're so pretty that not even Artemis has so many children. So they murdered 13, I think, of her children because she blasphemed. So we have pagans running this shit, and we call them scientists. We have Neil deGrasse always coming with the sun on his tie and on his jackets, because that's who we're worshiping. It's the same name. It's the same guy. He had different names. The name Baal was another one. So I think I've given enough for people to start looking into that. If you want me to go into the Huno thing, I can.
I guess just I think
yeah,
people would want to know
go ahead.
what you saw in your telescope that made you doubt what you were seeing was what they were telling you. I guess we can close with that.
Yep. So the thing is that I have them written here, and I'm going to read. Okay. So we see a circle. No, I'm not going to read. Okay, I know it by heart. So Huno was supposedly going towards there, and they created this video that they're going through looking at Galileo's telescope. And if you notice, I have a lot of dramatic music. I didn't do that myself. They used dramatic music. So I tried replicating what they did. So I said, step one, find some dramatic music to use. And I used that one. So they took some music created from a well-known Satanist who released one album in his life titled 666 from a band called Venus, the Child of Venus. What was it? It's slipping my mind right now. Anyway, they created a band called Venus Children, the Child of Venus or something. Aphrodite's Child. I got it. Aphrodite's Child. Aphrodite is Venus. And they released an album, and they disbanded the group before the album got released. That's weird. The album was titled 666. So he was given permission, this guy was given permission to do a ritual in the monument of Zeus here in Athens, and nobody has permission to ever do any concerts there. I have that in the video titled Mayhem 2022. And the reason I did it in 2022 is because when the Artemis missions began, NASA came back to the same country, and they did another ritual on the birthplace of these two twins. And it's Delos, the island Delos. Now, on Delos Island, you're not allowed to be after the sunset. You're just not allowed. The cops will get you. They're going by with boats. If they see you there, they pick you up. There is only one island on Greece, I could say on the earth, that you're not allowed to be when the sun sets. And it gets weirder. You're not allowed to die there. Like if you have to die,
What?
hold it. Don't die there. You're not allowed to give birth there. And when Darius, the Ottoman emperor, came to take over Greece, he gave an order to his soldiers to never set foot on that island. Take the whole country, but don't set a foot there. Well, his plans didn't work out. If somebody looks into history and marathon, and it didn't work out. But what's with that island? So NASA did another fancy, they don't call it ritual, but this is the only word that comes to my head. And they waited for the sun to set before they start. So it's the same. It's the second time that they don't abide by the law. I am not allowed to be there after the sunset, but NASA is. So they had a lot of violins there, and they started scratching the violins when the sun sets. And the reason they did it after the sunset is because they were not chanting to the sun god. They were chanting to his twin sister, and it's the moon. The other name for the moon is Artemis. We have the sun, Apollo, and we have the moon, his twin sister. So that video is titled Mayhem, and I have the whole ritual there. Oh, I just looked at the screen. I was into the presentation. The things that I'm showing here are things at that time. Pause, if you could. There is a black cube there, and it was the shadow of the box. If you press the left button to go back 10 seconds, on the wall here it says, small change, relax. It's not biggie. So this box comes to his home, and he opens it up, and there are some 3 Lego figurines that are going to come out of it. This is a Disney film where some satanic, I haven't even watched it. This satanic figure, I don't even know his name. He breaks the prison of the 4 giants, and they're going to hunt Zeus. I'm actually on the YouTube, so maybe I'm off now. I will open up the Skype feed again. Now, yeah, we're back at the house where this guy has this box, whatever it is. That's what it is. That's what I said it is. You have a cube over there. Coincidence. Nothing to see there, I guess. He opens up this Lego thing that came into his house. These things, they released them in 2015 or 16. I think 16. The pieces start moving by themselves. There's no radiation. And he builds a small CERN. No, let's not call that. Let's just say he builds a small gate. And out of the gate, 3 Lego figurines come out. There it is. I know. The silence is deafening. So yeah, what's going on? People just go about their lives, and they don't realize that there are people. Did you notice the arrow on the top right, on the left? It was saying up. We're going up. Hello.
Wow, yeah, it's a trip.
So I don't even remember right now. It's 7 years ago. Okay, I think this was a Lego movie. What was it? I was coming up then.
Yep.
So yeah, it's much better if somebody watches the whole thing, takes it from the beginning, and keeps going step to step that playlist, and then keep in mind that these playlists are titled 2016, then 2017, then 2018 until today, and every non-upload of mine is at your discretion. You can watch it, you can skip it. What matters to me is my uploads. And sometimes in my uploads, I add something that I heard in your channel, let's say. Something I heard on somebody else's channel. I just make things that I think that people that are on the same process should know about. And your discussion with Brenda, my point there was that why did the balloon thing happen? Because there was an article out, and I will Let me apologize to everyone in the chat, because even in the previous video, some people talk to me in the chat, but my brain is very weird. When I focus somewhere, I can't focus somewhere else. Women say that about men. We can focus on two things together. So I haven't even looked in the chat today. If somebody asks me something, I don't even know. Just letting you
So
know.
it was saying that CERN started its quote unquote search for dark matter in 2016 at a certain alignment.
Yes. Let me add to that CERN started out to find the Higgs boson, the particle of God. And at some point, they released a documentary 6 hours long. Now, how many of those people that call themselves scientists out there saw this 6-hour documentary? I don't think so. I don't think many. I did. And in it was the guy himself for whom they created CERN. His name was Boson. He was an old guy, and he said the chances to find the particle are getting slimmer each time we don't find it. And he gave us a calculation, and he said, I'm pretty sure they're not going to find it before I die. I'm like, okay, whatever. Okay, maybe we will, maybe we won't. And then in the same documentary, they have the guy, the same man, in an auditorium together with all these so-called scientists, and they announced that they found it. And everybody was clapping, just like NASA is clapping every time they go to orbit. Yay! But I could see it in his face. He was like, no way. No way. I mean, the math don't add up. You didn't find it. I could see him. At some point, he shed a tear, but I can tell when I see somebody who is in disbelief. But then, now what do we do with all that? We created this big thing that spans all over France, a whole circle, and we found what we were looking for. What do we do next? Let's just look for dark matter then. And I'm like, oh, really? So yeah, now we're into the deep part of the documentary.
Yes, I actually saw where the guy from CERN was talking, and he actually straight up says that they're basically trying to open up a portal, and they have no idea what could get pulled into it, and they know no idea what could come out of it. Right.
Yep. And that's what the truth I ended up arriving at. Sorry, Jeran, I think you wanted to say something, but because you are here, let me just say that if somebody clicks on this video and he reads the description, notice the time that we are. We are 1 hour, 38 minutes. Okay. So I'm telling people in the description, all I wanted to show you was the last 20 minutes of this documentary, which is what they did in the Super Bowl of that time. It was the Super Bowl 50. And it's not my fault that you need 1 hour and 38 minutes to understand what you are about to see. So please be patient with yourselves for this documentary being 2 hours. Because all I wanted to show you was what Beyoncé is doing, who she is representing, and it needs 1 hour and 30 minutes of data to get it. It completely blew my mind. I would say some people that are watching us right now probably remember this. It was crazy, but then we started seeing crazier things. And if you go to one of my latest videos that is titled Euro Ritual, I'm saying that I'm dedicating this video. Yeah. So check the intro. To you all.
Skip the intro, you said?
Yeah. Oh, no. Just stay here at the intro. I want to say that this video is dedicated to Americans, brothers and sisters in Christ, for complaining about your politics. And I said, it could be worse. And you know how worse it could be? You could be in Europe. Because what you're about to see on the Euro ritual, on the Eurovision, oh man, that's wild. So the whole thing starts with giving you, the UK announced that they will send MISSILES to Kiev that have a 250 kilometer radius. And they will do this for self-defense. My problem with that statement is not the fact as itself, I knew that we have this problem, but why do you have to show it on Eurovision? Why does a friggin' guy have to come out and hold 2 fucking rockets the same day that they announce that they're gonna give rockets to Kiev? 250 kilometers, but for self-defense, huh? So the thing is that there is this thing between you guys and the other guys on the other side, and Europeans, we're in the middle. And you know what happens to those in the middle? We get it from both sides. We're gonna get effed. When somebody starts pressing some buttons, we're gonna be the first to have a big problem down here. Like we've been, Greece announced today that they will send S-300 rockets. So there's no stopping this. And in order to make something out of it, this is what the Bible is telling us. It's telling us that this world is not going to improve. This world is going to perish. And the reason it's going to perish is because the devil is trying to make it just as he is in his soul. He hates mankind because we are in the image of God. And he wants to destroy the whole thing. He wants to burn us down. God is allowing it because people are waking up, realizing their own faults towards their brothers, towards their sisters, and arriving to God. So, yeah, somebody interrupt me, please.
Well, no, I mean, say your final pieces. We'll let you go, but we appreciate you jumping on and letting us know a little backstory, and then people can follow your channel. It is Achilles7. Become a subscriber over there.
It's an honor. Now, notice here on the back, what was that? It's the sun. 50 bloody songs with the sun or Saturn all the time. Here, you're gonna see a beautiful black, dark Saturn over there.
So what are you basically like? Yeah, we know they have these creepy weirdo beliefs about the sky, and they name them after all kinds of quote unquote mythological characters. I would say that they weren't mythological; they were actually on the earth, like every civilization said. And whether or not there's some sentience or something to some of the stuff we see in the sky, who knows? But you're basically tying it to what they're doing on CERN, and yeah, I'm trying to put that together. They start looking for dark matter in CERN 2016, same day as this alignment. And this is within their model, which is wrong, of course, but I guess that doesn't matter. Are you suggesting that they're trying to get them to come onto the Earth, or it's okay? Yeah, I'm trying to put together what you think.
Let me just say that I don't know everything. I observe things, and then I make video of them. Your guess is my guess. Like, I don't know. But what flipped me is, look, all the time we get the sun again. What flipped me is that there is a statue outside of CERN of another god, which is a Hindu god, and they have it as a statue.
Yeah, Shiva.
Shiva. and it's a specific form of Shiva called the Destroyer, because he's in this circle that resembles CERN. So the thing is that Kali is going to destroy the world, according to Buddhism, and then Shiva is going to rebuild it. And here's my heliosexuals from Jeran. I should have copyright. I have it on a previous video.
It's not mine either. Yeah, I got to copyright that.
Yeah, but I have it. I said heliosexuals. Copyright Jeran is my. I said it on a previous video. I don't even remember which one.
Yeah.
So that thing flipped me, because is when you have a building that science is conducted in there, don't put a pagan god outside of it.
Right.
Because I want a clear distinction between science and faith.
Yeah, it's almost like they have to mirror them together. They have to marry them together when they're like telling us they should be separate. But then it's like, well, we'll name all of our missions after gods. It's like, what?
Why?
Yeah, why? Like CERN's logo is so hilarious to me. I mean, if I'm a scientific enterprise, the one thing I'm going to make sure of is that my logo does not have any religious connotations. It just wouldn't,
No.
right? I mean, there's just no reason. If I'm, I'm going to be CERN, then when they give me a list of logos, the logo I'm not going to choose is the one that clearly has a 666.
Or a cube.
Give me any other logo. When they bring it back and show me this, I'm going to be like, no, anything else. Anything else.
Yes, please. Exactly.
Right.
Guys, first off, again, to conclude, I'm the one thanking you, because it was a process for me, and you were there in this process, showing me things that really blew my mind. And there are other people right now that are going through the same process that for me it was 5-7 years ago, for others is today. What I want people to know is that their time to distinguish between faith and science is running very short. It's not something they can postpone. If we have a building that science is conducted in there, but there is a religious imagery outside of it, and they also released a video, which it was a CERN video, and it shows pagan gods dancing. I have this on part A, Concordia. These are the things that are leading you. I said you need 1 hour and 30 minutes of information to get the end. These are the things that are there. Why would CERN release this kind of religious video? So the thing is, some people told me when I mentioned the word Jesus or God, they say, oh, you're the religious type. So I'm like, wait a minute. Do you have the size of the telescope that I have? No. Do you have 2 scientific degrees that say on science? No. Then you are the faithful. I'm not of faith. I'm the man of science. Because if you want to call yourself the scientific side, get yourself a telescope. I'm saying that to all those who, whenever you mention the word God, just like you mention the word flat, they just block you. They're like, oh, you're that type. You're the type that chills in religion because it's easier that way. No, it's harder that way, really. Because it says there are some things that God doesn't want us to do. The easy way is to not care and be your own divinity. Which, although I wanted to conclude, because I want to respect your time, let me just say that this heliosexualism goes way further into narcissism. People are the center of their own universe. Whatever I want, and you are just another little planet out there that I don't care. They have taken God out of the equation and they put themselves as the divinity. And this is the essence of Apollo as a god. He's the god of self-enlightenment. That if you watch that video, that documentary called Concordia, it shows you that we have 2 sides. One side is that God is providing us with the light, and the other side is that you are the light. And they've created videos, and I have them inside that documentary, that they're showing us their telescopes, their radio telescopes, their overall science, and they're trying to tell us that there is no divine light. There is just your light. Increase it. That's what we only know for it being so certain, is the fact that there is this light inside of man, and it's our brain, and it's our intellect. So when that year the Luciferian Church releases a video that says that you are the light, increase it, I'm just connecting these two dots, saying, guys, are you sure there is no other kind of light called grace out there? Because if you are such a light, I mean, Buddhism is saying that you keep increasing into becoming a small god. Okay, where are the gods? I don't see a god being born. Didn't they evolve from the previous lives into, at some point, get born as a god? I haven't seen any. So it's a whole thing that I couldn't possibly put in 2 hours. I thought I could. I don't verify the math. If you verify the math, you are a conspiracy theorist. Just trust me.
Right.
That's faith. And they've made the whole world faithful to science, and they're not even trying to verify it. So they are the faithful. What I've done is to present a couple of evidence that lead towards, that's how you arrive to the truth. Evidence to evidence on anything. Whatever we want to sit down and analyze, we need the proof, we need the evidence to arrive to the truth. And they are not providing any evidence. They're just giving us fake bull about this, about space, about from fisheye lenses, the ISS things coming in, coming out, bubbles here, bubbles there. Now, if people want to be blind, they can stay blind, and there is a deception that is going to unfold, and they will deserve it because they remain blind when not only are the evidence everywhere, but there are people like me and like you guys trying their asses off to wake them up. If they label you as something and then go about their day, they're going to enjoy what is about to unfold here. But according to God, some will live, and they're going to be feasting with Jesus for 3.5 years, which will be the last years of this earth. They're going to be the worst, and they're going to be the last. And something, if you noticed the black Jesus at one of the previous video, a missing Jesus, now you were watching something which the hard part of my work is to translate things. As you can see, titles all over. Okay, for me this is very hard because it's like 5-6 clicks per title. I have to create a title, I have to put it on the same spot, I have to exactly translate the things that are going on. And what they are not telling us is that according to the word of Jesus, there is going to be a kingdom with him reigning. There will be 2 things missing from that kingdom. Satan, because hell is being created for him, not for him to reign on, for him to be imprisoned in. And because death is a result of Satan's existence, according to the Revelation 22, we're going to live with Jesus reigning on this earth or some other earth for 1,000 years without Satan and without death. Now, if somebody puts those 2 together and listens and studies Kent Hovind, who is actually has proven evolution to be wrong. Like he is the flaw of evolution. If evolution is real, then why did it evolve into Dr. Hovind? to disprove itself. He has proven to us a lot of things, and one of them is that Adam and Eve actually lived for 1,000 years. So if that is true, and God is promising us 1,000 years without death, then hello, he's telling us that we're going to live as Adam and Eve lived. In 1,000 years, how many children can one have? There are a lot that come into your mind, I understand, about, let's just not go into questions. Let me give you one more thing about this that we've discovered scientifically. This is something Dr. Hovind said that completely blew my mind, that there is one bone on the human body that if you surgically remove it, it grows back up. Could you guess what that bone is? It's the last bone of your thorax, the lower one. If you surgically remove it, it grows back. Which bone did God take from Adam to create Eve? So it turns out that the Bible is a scientific book, but we didn't understand that science. And we've made it a whole, it's not us that did it. They've done it to us. People are waking up. Dr. Hovind was banned from YouTube, and now he opened up another channel called Genesis Baptist Church, and he's on Rumble, he's on Odyssey. They've put him in jail, but you can't stop the truth. So I'm putting things in videos, some from you guys, some from Dr. Hovind, some from other guys. Now the one that we're watching has to do with 2023. If you wanna, the map is to start on 2016 to see the things you've missed. So I have your permission. Whenever you feel like it, I can pause, I can stop, sign out. Thank you for your time, guys.
Okay, and you can send it to Jeran at Jeranism rather than
Jeran at Jeranism.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll get to
there was one thing, yes, part F, where you asked me about what is this with the animation.
Right.
So what I did was I took the video of NASA, forget about the dramatic music and stuff, and I realized that at that time frame that they gave us, I wanted to verify that the moons of Jupiter were at where the video shows. Guess what? They weren't. They were on the exact opposite side. And the circle of Calypso, because it's very, very far, cannot happen again on the same time frame that they gave us on that video. It's only one.
Mm.
And here I'm saying, let's just see if I can send a probe. And what I did, remember my videos were especially on animations to 1080p, 180p,
Mm-hmm.
because otherwise it's 360p and it looks like crap. Now that's another point here. And the point is that, give it a pause. Give it a pause where we are. Okay. First off, the moons are not where they were supposed to be. 1. 2, we've never seen a planet of the giants to be half like that. We only see them, we only see the inner planets do that. Mercury, Venus, and Mars. No, do we even see it on Mars? I'm not sure.
We shouldn't.
But never on Jupiter.
Yeah.
Like in the whole astronomical history, even in Galileo's drawings, he has a full disk, but not NASA. NASA is the special type. They get a half disk. That's number 2. that is a problem with Juno. Number 3 is that the speed of airwaves in vacuum is 160,000 kilometers per hour. If you divide the distance of Jupiter with that number, then it takes 48 minutes for one signal to make it there. 48 minutes. And they're saying that they're doing this remote orbital insertion. Remote orbital insertion. That means that it's going to enter the perfect orbit. If it's one fraction further up, 1 degree up, it's going to shoot it in space. If it's 1 degree down, it's going to burn into the atmosphere. So it has to be very precise. Okay, so the signal to make it that precise, to make corrections, like you realize that it's on a false trajectory, it's on a wrong trajectory, we have to correct it. You send the command, it takes 48 minutes to arrive there. Then the spacecraft, quote unquote, has to respond. I received the command. Do you want me to execute it? Because it maybe didn't receive it. Maybe it received it half. We need to know that I received this command. Are you sure? Like if I delete something on my computer, it says, are you sure you want to delete it? So if the spacecraft responds back to us, if we want to execute the command, that's another 48 minutes. If we press yes, that's another 48 minutes. And that's precise orbital insertion for all those that consider this thing to be true. It's precise. Just 2 hours off.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Completely blew my mind at that time. I didn't even know in part F the whole Earth, the whole shape thing. But then I realized something that you guys, and thank you very much for it, and Jeran in particular does all the time. You mentioned that the reason for this conspiracy is to hide that God is telling us that I created this place for you. We are the center of this place, not the sun. And they're hiding it. In order to hide it, they have to fake stuff. So one more thing about this, there is this dramatic music, and it turns out that this dramatic music was created for this mission by that Satanist who had this album, 666, Aphrodite's Child. He recently passed. I bet he knows the truth now. And he's the same guy that did the ritual to Apollo. He's not saying it, that it's to Apollo, but he's showing it on monitors. You will see this on Mayhem, Video Mayhem 2022. And they used this music. He created the music for the mission. And he's a Satanist, well-known Satanist. I mean, you can't even make this shit up. So what I did after that is make another dramatic video to compare it to NASA's. I just panned out the planet and then started zooming in slowly, just like NASA does, pretending that I've sent the probe. And I have a couple of questions from Jeranism. I don't even have notes in front of me. All I have is I'm trying to roll the smoke, and I can't even do that. The questions. I've totally lost my mind, my train of thought. Yes, first off, yes, we can see the moons of Saturn. For you to see the moons, you need a camera connected to the telescope, and through your computer, you raise the exposure up to a point that the planet is completely burned off, where the pixels are burned off. The planet, you can't see the planet anymore. Then the moons appear. They are all over the place, and they are even very far from Saturn. Like, it's mind-blowing. Like they are 4 Saturns away from the planet. If you continue moving the telescope, you can still keep discovering moons. It's crazy. Now, how an animation is made and what's the difference between a computer-generated imagery that we're watching from NASA and a real animation. In order to make a real animation, what you do is you take Jupiter rotates fast. It takes 60 seconds for the objects on the planet to move slightly. So what you need to do is capture 60 seconds. How many frames per second can your camera capture? So imagine a multiplication of the number of your FPS, let's say 30 FPS, frames per second, 30 FPS into 60 seconds, 30 times 60. These are the frames of 1 second. You do the same. What you do is you keep your camera recording. You keep it recording. It keeps recording. You are sitting outside there in the cold, and you do see that the moon is not now where it used to be when I started recording. But then you sit at your computer and you align with specific programs that exist out there, Registax, Avistack. They are astronomical programs. And you stack up those pictures into one picture. So you now have 1 second. On the next 60 minutes, you do the same on the other set, and you have the second, and then you have the third second, and then you have a fourth second. Now, if you align those perfectly, you can actually see the rotation. It looks something as what we are watching here from NASA, but nothing like it. This is the logo of the mission. I called it the world's furthest Pokemon. Here you can hear her. Now, and here comes another question from Jeran. What was the Lucifer project? Pose, please, because I'm watching, and I not only am I getting confused, people and you guys too are getting information from your audio and from video, and it's different information. So the Lucifer project is not the Lucifer telescope. But first, let's just slightly go into the telescope. We all know how much NASA makes. It's like I calculated it back then to be 55 million per day. And you guys said 75. I'm not up to date with the number they gave us, with the billions per year. But with that number, you expected them to have the biggest telescopes on the Earth. No, they don't. You know who does? The Vatican. So wait a minute, here comes religion again. They're getting 75 million per day, and it's a religious group that has the biggest telescopes. And they've named their biggest one Lucifer. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Anyway, the Lucifer project, when I believed in balls, they saw it on Space Odyssey. There is this conspiracy talk of the time back then that they are trying to fire up Jupiter and make it a second sun so we have no night. It was called the Lucifer project because Lucifer is the light bringer and blah, 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 this crap that they're using. And I was really mad. It's a planet who is supposedly a gas giant of 85, I think, percent hydrogen. And you are sending probes to crash into the atmosphere eventually. And there was discussion that they're doing this because they have uranium in there, in the engine, even though the treaty bans them from having that, because they want to fire it up. I was really mad at that time about this, but then I relaxed. No, oh, don't worry about it. It's all CGI. I had to use my own animations to make sure that they're lying to me, and they are. I mean, if people want to verify themselves, go ahead, do the same thing. I mean, there is no, my animation, I use a computer to make it, but in order to capture real frames of that planet as it spins. And yes, they do spin. Yes, the moons are going around them. But if you have a lamp over a table and the lamp is round, it doesn't prove that the table is round. The lamp is round. So for me, what completely blew my mind and it was over with was the fact that if you Google Jupiter occultation, like as we say occult, but occultation, then we have pictures of the moon and Jupiter or Saturn coming behind the moon. According to lenses, this shouldn't be possible. It just shouldn't be possible. We couldn't get two objects focused together. A telescope is nothing but a big lens. And at the end of it, you attach the camera. That's what it is. It's like your DSLR. It's nothing fancier. It has a computer to follow the sky. Oh, by the way, on the latest video, one of the latest videos, I am turning, sorry, give me a minute. Get some water here. I'm doing this moonwalk, and I'm telling people there that if you notice, I'm focusing in and then I'm focusing out. And then I ask, now if I turn to another object, shouldn't I refocus again? And I turn to Venus and you don't have to refocus. So this is showing me that the planets are right behind the moon. They're not at the distance they're telling me they are. I'm sorry, NASA, but it's mathematics. I don't care if you don't want to do them. We did. There's no way that it's possible to look at the moon and then turn to Jupiter and be in focus. So then I play with the focus knob and I show you how Venus is when it's out of focus. And it doesn't look like anything like that. Okay, something popped up. Your friend that is still stranded.
What?
No, in the Skype. Yeah, something popped up in the Skype. It was our mutual friend who is still stranded in the car, I think.
Oh, Eero, got you. Okay.
Okay.
So, all right, I think that's it. Unless you guys, Zach or Austin, you have any questions for him?
No, I really enjoy the channel, man. I'm gonna keep going through some more. I love motocross and stuff like that out in the woods. So, yeah, I've been checking a lot of that stuff out.
Thanks, man. Just so you know, I don't have them anymore. A forest fire arrived. It burned all my dirt bikes and the whole garage I had, because the times are weird and we shouldn't attach to anything. I was attached to I love them. And God said that if you love something of this world, this fake world, then you don't love me. And I was a little attached to dirt bikes. You can see what happened on video titled 2022. I started just naming them with years. Like, this is 2022, it's 5 hours long, enjoy it. Then I have 2023. On this video, this little arrow, it's showing that there is this bulge on Jupiter when the moon is coming out of it. Now, what you see here is a sequence of pictures. It's taking me a lot of time to make one of those, and I stopped. I just got bored. I do have a lot of footage, more footage, but I need like maybe a month for each. And now that I realize that they're not what I thought they are, nor are they at the size that they said they are, I don't even care anymore. I mean, I even wanted to sell the telescope, but I'm not, because I enjoy having, when they say we went back on the moon, I want to peek and say hi. That's why I'm keeping it. That's all. So, guys.
All right, well, thank you.
Once more, I'm the one thanking you. Thank you for the time. Thank you for the feature. And thank you for everything you've been doing. It's an honor to finally be able to support you and make premium on Rockfin. And keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you much. You too. We're looking forward to watching more of your channel.
Thank you. Thank you, brothers. Talk soon.
Good.
All right, take care, man.
Bye-bye.
It's good stuff. I like having somebody new on the channel. It's good. It's good to hear somebody out, hear their ideas, and you never know what you're gonna hear. I don't know if you guys had seen this. I was looking at this the other day. Have you heard of Felicity, Arizona? You heard of that?
No.
City? So I'll just show you. Actually, somebody told me, and then I was talking to Eddie Bravo last night, and Eddie Bravo said to check out Joe Rogan's podcast from 2 weeks ago because they talked about it. Felicity, Arizona. Actually, it might be California. I don't remember if it's Arizona or California. I think it's so if you guys are looking here, this place, which is, let me see if I can get some images here. So out in the middle of Arizona, they have built, first of all, there's this staircase that goes to nothing that people drive by and they're seeing it off the freeway and saying, what is this place? Then they're going to this pyramid that they say is the center of the world. And this is a Rothschild guy, this guy here, who purchased the area, made himself the mayor. There's a population of like 2. They try and get people off the road. When people come off the road, they tell them to, oh, come and we'll give you a tour. But these girls on Joe Rogan's show are saying that they ask you to step into the pyramid, and then they want you to put your foot in the middle of a circle because they say it's the center of the earth, and then they want you to repeat some chant or saying or something, and then the girls are like, no, we're not doing that, and they made them leave or something. That's a crazy story. I've never even seen this place. It's got like the history of the world written on all these granite stones, basically for like the future of humanity. It's almost like a different rendition of the Georgia Guidestones. Yeah, I don't know what these things say. I can't get close enough on any of these to actually read it, but I didn't know it even existed. Nobody's ever heard of it?
No, that's wild.
That's super weird.
Super weird. Oh, wait, this is like a video. Let me see if we can actually talk to this guy. There we go. Let's see. Never seen
We
this.
take you to the center of the world. In a News 11 exclusive, I'll share with you how a city in Imperial County, but on the outskirts of Yuma, was able to gain international attention, all because of one Frenchman with a big idea.
I just threw up my mouth.
A tiny dot on
Yeah,
the
so
map.
gross.
Felicity, California. Population,
Great stuff, don't you think?
the sharp, speedy,
Come with me.
sweet and sarcastic founder of Felicity, Jacques Audrey Estelle, 91 years young. Did you write everything that's on these walls?
Every word.
Clearly, Jacques was born in France, later served in the United States Marine Corps, and vowed to buy some property if he made it out alive.
I'm 91 years old.
Oh, sorry, I
and
muted
still
him. I
in
muted
my
it too.
Jesus, can't hear that anymore. Huh?
I have no way to fix the problem.
What's the problem?
I muted you.
Why? What's wrong?
It's still playing.
What? What's going on? I'm lost. What happened? What's the matter?
Center of the world.
Did I get muted? Am I not on? Hello? I don't know what happened. Did somebody mute me? Can you guys not hear me? What's going on?
I muted you. I don't know how to unmute you.
Muted me from what? Skype?
Yeah, I'm not hearing Jeran.
Okay, there. How
If
about now?
he's speaking.
Oh.
There he is.
Okay, sorry.
You were hot micing, so I was trying to help you out, and I muted everything. Apparently.
It was hot miking.
Yeah, you know, like talking, but can be heard.
Yeah, but wasn't I was trying to be heard. Anyway, maybe you're hearing something else. I'm not really sure. I don't know what happened. I just didn't know if you guys had ever seen that before. I thought that was pretty crazy. And then going back, I think I finished. Oh, I wanted to show one other thing about Himawari. Put this over here. Okay. Oops. So we were talking about Himawari. Oh, and I showed you the white lines. Yeah. Okay. So you guys can see those, hopefully, at least according to my screen, they can be seen. So if you're kind of watching my mouse right here, there's a line. And then equal distance from that all throughout the whole picture is those lines. So you can see them if you get up here. You can see there's one here and then here. They're just white lines that go across the whole thing. Now, I know that the saying is that I don't know why it would ever be like this, that this satellite 22,000 miles away actually takes pictures of the Earth by scanning strips. So it like scans this and then takes that image and scans. Okay, well, what it certainly does not do is scan that small of rows, right? So if you want to say it's scanning, I don't know, huge sections, that's fine. I could buy that. But when you get in there and you actually see how small these lines are, there's no way that it's scanning in those lines, right? So you can see here that they're basically like the size of a pixel if you really got down to it. And then, so now picture, if you come out, I mean, let's look at this line right here. So if you look at, I'd say it's about as tall as my mouse pointer. Still is not right. Maybe it's half the size of my hand pointer here. If you can see my hand. Yeah, you can see that, right? Oops. Sorry. Let me do this and make it a little easier. All right. So if you look at here, the line is about half of this hand. So now just watch as I pull back and pay attention to how small that would be if it was taking strips. I mean, like it's taking photos of the Earth by going 1 pixel row at a time. That's not how photographs work. So again, it's baffling to me. I don't know how what to say about it, but there's so many things wrong with Himawari that if it was what they've told people. So what I'm trying to get at is that when you tell people there's a camera, it takes pictures of the Earth every 10 minutes, blah, 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 that I could see to any outside observer, them thinking about that and going, oh yeah, that is kind of proof. Well, okay, it's good enough, but it's when you look into it that you realize that it's just not. It's the furthest thing from it. And so just remember that when people try and pass this off as proof, it's not proof to me. Again, why wouldn't we have a 24-hour camera? If it's just this simple, look at, they place this craft in orbit and it just sits here. The Earth doesn't even move in its observation, right? Because the orbits are so perfect that there's no wearing, there's no weaving in and out, there's no change in nothing. It's just perfect. So if that were the case, why wouldn't you put a video camera on it? I hear excuses like, well, video is just a series of images. Yeah, I know what video is. Thank you very much. So why can't you do 30 images a second? We have cameras that do 30 frames per second. So take 30 frames per second, beam it down to the Earth, and then upload it to the internet. So can it happen in real time? Probably not. Can it happen in 1 second? Maybe not. Can it happen in a minute? Yes, for sure. There's no reason why we would wait longer than a minute to get a photo taken from space, sent to a ground station on Earth, and uploaded to the internet for us all to see. Unless there's something nonsense going on. What do you guys think?
Yeah, absolutely. For what they claim to be able to do, power up craft that are, billions of miles away or whatever, this should be easy.
Right. It should be a no-brainer.
This would be like the most viewed video ever. You could just have the live stream constantly running on YouTube.
Yep.
Bro, everyone would watch it. I don't know.
The advertising alone.
Yeah, it was their excuse is basically, I guess, that they want to create the highest quality image that they can, so they have to do it this other way. Because in theory, you could just videotape it if you're out there, just send it back. So what are they just going to say? Well, it wouldn't be good quality. We don't do things to prove stuff to flat earthers.
Right, we always hear that one. That's not, they don't care about flat earthers. So, but it's like, okay, well, let's just take things seriously. Why can we go? We were just looking earlier, right? When we looked at the pictures of Saturn when I was there. Let me go back there again. So we were looking at Cassini images of Saturn. Okay, and it's supposed 78,000 or something. I don't know the exact number, but there's a certain crazy number of images that this craft supposedly took of Saturn. So I can go here and I can just start scrolling through, and you can right away realize, oh, wait, we don't have pictures of the Earth like this. Okay, here's a picture from above Saturn. Okay, there's a photograph, they tell us. Now, again, of course we know, I'll just add this for fun. Of course we know that it's clearly fake. But it's, regardless, we have to play along with the story that they're telling. If this craft is just able to take pictures from the top of Saturn like this, and I wish it wouldn't keep going back and make me do all this again. If you, take this, here's Prometheus up close. Here's some jets flying from the top. Here's a side view. Here's a side view of the rings. Here's the top. We can look at the hexagon. We don't get any of this from the Earth. So right
did
away,
they do like loops around Saturn?
Yeah, it was just doing
for a
orbits,
while,
like 12 years. They say. So again, but you're able to see that this is showing you this planet from every angle. Underneath it, on top of it, you're able to see the hexagon from the side view. You're in the rings, you're outside the rings. I don't know what the hell goes on here. It's got a big old black line through it. But I mean, obviously, I don't believe any of this to be anywhere. To me, they've got this planet Saturn inside of a supercomputer or inside of some sort of computer simulation, and you can go to it and take pictures there. But it doesn't exist. This is not pictures being taken from the sky. I mean, here's a side view of the rings. So where do we have a picture of the Earth? When have you ever seen a picture of the United States from space? You haven't. So at what point are we going to be, and this is what should have happened again when we came out and started talking about flat Earth. The citizens of the world should have looked at what we were saying, said, you know what, they've got a point. Even if they don't believe us, even if they're like, you know what, I don't believe that the Earth's flat and I don't believe that it's not a globe. I agree with what they say about that. However, I do see your point that we should have photos of the Earth. Yeah, the ISS should be on, or the ISS live stream should be 24 hours a day. Why would they cut it every 45 minutes for 45 minutes and say they're on the night side of Earth? That doesn't make sense. We know that they're telling us there's satellites everywhere. You can beam signals to the Earth and then they can transmit it from the ground station to Houston or whoever's playing it. So you're talking about a 2-second process. And they're making it sound like they actually say we're turning off the live stream for the ISS because it's on the dark side of Earth. It has lost connectivity.
Right, how often did you say it was?
Every 45 minutes.
Every 45 minutes for 45 minutes. When it's nighttime, they turn it off. So,
which is ridiculous.
Well, but don't they show some videos of like the night side though?
Not really. I mean, if you go to ISS Live,
they have videos, but it's usually like of stuff that the astronaut has taken looking out the window, and they'll show you like videos of that.
Oh, the live stream is never
the
shown.
live stream.
Because like if you look up
is
time lapse of star trails, I mean,
they have time lapse.
Definitely show you.
Well, yeah, those are time lapse, but I'm talking about the live stream itself. I don't know why this one even says off air. What? Why? Go to the
Yeah, that's a trip, bro. Like, why? What's the excuse though? Is it something to do with saving power?
No, it says that the ISS is currently offline because it's either switching cameras or it's on the night side of Earth. That's what they say, which is just a joke.
Switching cameras.
Yeah, I'm like
the push of a button, like we do.
When do you
all
think
the time.
Austin? You think
put cameras up in my stream room and just press buttons and change them?
I watch baseball games live for my entire life, and guess what? When the balls hit, they can flip to the camera of the third baseman fielding it in real time in an instant. They don't go timeout. Pardon us, we're switching cameras. Was the guy safe or out? I don't even know. No, we were switching cameras, so it's going to take a little while. Like, why?
Wait,
back in 5 minutes.
See the night side of Earth in the live stream?
Let me find it here. Here's
what the? How do people think this is not weird?
I know.
That's the whole point of what I'm saying. Is like, I get it. You don't like us. I get that you think we're liars. I get that you love NASA. I get that you love space. Okay, but if you're not willing to say good point, you got a point there. Then I think you're not being. Then I think you are a shill, or you do work for NASA, or that you're so in love with your religion that you won't just acknowledge that other people who have questions about it have a right to have those questions. You make it seem like we're such idiots. We need to go sit down in the corner. How dare us ask questions of NASA? But the questions we're asking are like simple. Why do you?
This is an odd NASA question, bro. Like, Jeran, you have like some of the best questions. You need to just write out a list that you want to directly ask NASA. Because
Yeah, we need to pick one of these. Pick one, and then we need to really ask people, to everybody, just pour in to NASA.
And it needs to be very professional and well written, or articulated and articulated. That's why I did odd at NASA. We actually don't need to tell everyone to pour in my opinion. If everyone in the GLOBEBUSTERS chat just pours into NASA right now, it's not going to work.
No, and I'm not saying go there. I'm saying after you do your audit, we all have to go to their comment sections and like Google Earth, go to the NASA, not Google Earth, but Google Maps, how they have reviews and stuff like that. We go there and we post a comment in there like, hey, I just saw this on a YouTube video and what's up with this? We don't have to bash NASA. We just have to let them know that we know.
Got some crazy stuff in the works for audit NASA.
Awesome.
Wait, when?
Yeah, it's like it requires tactic. We have clearance levels now. So, but I think this is an amazing question. There's so many of them that I end up losing track. So we are building a portal to put them all in there, but like they should easily give us all the details about this that we could ever need, right? I mean, as to the reasoning why, or
There's
like
broken
even
pixels.
moving it towards, we want to see it, right? I mean, we pay for it. We want to see it. So tell us how much more it would cost you to show it to us nonstop. Let's start there.
Yeah, just 20. Well, I mean, in this one here, now I've never seen. Oh, here's your camera. So this is what it says. The video from the space station external camera has been interrupted due to either loss of signal between the station and communications network, which would never happen. There's a craft orbiting the Earth that we lost connection with. It's just so stupid. Or is being used for station operation purposes? The EDHC is currently being used to provide a view of Earth following the end of life of. So sometimes this actually says we're changing cameras or we're on the night side of Earth.
I've seen conflicting information between steps 16.11 and 17.1. One of them appears to say to.
Guess what? It's not happening. It's not a communications network issue, considering we're hearing somebody's voice.
Capped on tape this RNA response bag into the.
I guess they lost connection with the video, but the audio's fine. Yeah, who knows? Anyway, so yeah, it usually goes dark like this for about 45 minutes and then comes back for 45 minutes. Now, it can vary because of whatever they claim the orbit is. It could be 40 minutes and 50, like 50 minutes daytime, 40 nighttime. It kind of always is varying. But you get these just, usually it turns into a blue screen. You've heard us talk about the blue screen. Although I noticed that when I'm going to they used to be on IBM. But when I'm going there, like even this is that NTO channel, this is showing us that it's on YouTube. So they must have stopped using. They used to use Ustream, then they were using, like I just did. If you go ISS Live, oops, that's how you spell that. ISS Live.
I mean, for as much money as they get, we should be able to look in just about every room of the ISS. That's not like a private whatever. We don't need one in the bathroom, but we should be able to just go through the ISS whenever we want and just see what they're doing. With as much money as they get and the technology we have today, I mean, that's possible.
And it's just such a joke. They're able to get away with anything they want because I did my Freedom of Information Act request through them just taking forever to get back to me and going back and forth. It took months just to get a price. Then they told me it was whatever, $1,800 to get this spacewalk footage I wanted, which is ridiculous. Why isn't it already digitally stored somewhere? But whatever, they have to pay somebody to go and they say, put it on the disk drive for me. So then we do that, and it takes a total of 8 months until I get what I asked for. I'm sorry.
Woody and RNA are.
Shut up. So here's the problem with that is imagine if you were doing something illegal and the government said, excuse me, we want to look into your paperwork, we want to look into your books, we want to look into your bank account. And you're like, okay, give me a couple months and I'll get back to you. And they're like, okay. And then you take a couple months, you clean up your stuff, you go back to them, and then they still want it. And we're still interested in looking. Okay, well, I'll get you my bank account statement, and then it's a total of 8 months later, and then you hand them the stuff. Everybody in the world is smart enough to realize, in those 8 months, is it possible that person fabricated some shit so that whatever they had to turn in at the end isn't really? Well, this is why the police don't allow you to do that. This is why they'll come in and handcuff you and search your house, because if they gave you 8 months, you would be able to clean up anything. So this is what NASA does.
Hey, can we search your vehicle? Yeah, let me just run over here and get it detailed real quick. I'll be right back, and
yeah,
you can search.
I just got a couple things I got to do. Maybe next month. Could you mind coming? Oh yeah, we'll come by next month and we'll check it out. Thanks, NASA. So even the Freedom of Information Act is a joke. It's not.
No, it's trash, dude. We got plans, man. I would say anyone that's not at NASA, man, you guys are tripping, bro, because it actually is very epic, and it's the only way forward, in my opinion. It's like the initial hurdle, and FOIA is a setup, just like you said. It just actually give them. It's like a system that gives them a warning shot. But let's just say we have other ways to go about things that have never been done. They've never been done, and I know some of them work because I've personally done them in other situations. So it's Very interesting that they've gotten away unscathed so far, but I don't really see that lasting too long. So, yeah, audit NASA.com. For real. I'm not even just saying that. Like I believe in it so much that I put a lot of money into it that I don't have, and a lot of time into it, because it's just what has to happen. If Jeran and I just like yell at NASA through our stream together, it can only do so much, you know. It can wake some people up to the deceptions, but as to really holding them accountable, you have to ambush them. You have to beat them at their own game. You have to be tactical, compartmentalized, covers, the whole nine. You gotta come from all angles, where you set so many traps that if they're lying, they fall into the traps. And if they're telling the truth, they have nothing to worry about, right? I mean, so that's what I think. Think about what would happen if everyone found out that NASA was faking space.
Right.
I mean,
which video of yours?
Flat earthers in 2 months. You don't even have to talk to them about it; they'll figure it out themselves. When people realize they got nothing from space, it's either they're hiding aliens or they're lying about the Earth. You know.
I'll take a yes. Which one of your videos were you talking about? I think it was this last week where you were just going through some of the fallacies, reversal of burden of proof, because it's one that I think we get caught up in a lot of times. And we don't even realize it, or people are not realizing that somebody cannot ask you. You did a great job telling the story about the your parents, the adoption certificate. What video was that? Was that Schooling the Globers?
That was the last Schooling Globers.
Okay, yeah. People need to watch that, because this will equip you. It actually gives you weapons to use, because I get the most amount of messages from people saying, how do I explain this? How do I do this? This person's saying this. And again, it's always a matter of them saying, how does this work on flat Earth? How the hell would we know? Just because we are pointing out the obvious lies doesn't mean that we have to then be responsible for furnishing a new paradigm. I wish we could, but we don't have that information. We don't have that kind of money. We don't have that kind of personnel. So don't get locked in that, and make sure you turn it on them. Explain a little bit, Austin, of what you would tell somebody who says to you, well, how does your sun work? How does the sun go between the tropics every year?
Yeah. Which I did think about actually showing that on this stream, because I think we have a good explanation. But yeah, it's just the burden of proof, familiarizing yourself with what that means is the first step, right? What always happens, say someone makes a positive claim, they have the burden of proof. So if I tell you, look, Bigfoot runs in my backyard, and then I give you a video of it, you don't have to believe it because I gave you a video of it. And if you say, I don't think that's really Bigfoot, maybe it's some dude in a costume, and I say, prove it. How the hell am I going to prove your video has a dude in a costume, right? So it's simple. The burden of proof reversal fallacy, or shifting the burden of proof, is when the person making the positive claim, in this case, anyone purporting to believe in NASA or their claims of going to space, they flip it on the other person that's denying or challenging the positive assertion. Right. That's just stupid. So if I'm like, someone's like, this is 100 million miles away picture from Mars, and it's like, no, it's not. I don't believe that. Prove it's fake. That's stupid. And that's the same problem with asking us about how everything in the sky works, what's on the opposite side of the Earth. Like, that's stupid. You made ridiculous claims. It's a lie. We found out it's a lie. I don't have to then follow suit and make ridiculous claims and make stuff up. It's stupid. I think that breaking that down to people you talk to is super important, because anyone I've ever tried to wake up in real life, immediately, they don't even think about the globe. They're just immediately like, well, how would this work on flat Earth? Right. And it's just basic misunderstanding of logic. I think that we fall for it too much. I do too, right? I'm trying to answer. I'm like, I can answer all your questions, what you got, but
me too. I'm the same. I have the same problem. But I think it's just easier to think of it like you did, because like this Himawari thing I'm showing you, right? Their claim is that the Himawari is proof that the Earth is a globe. So if we say, no, I don't believe that, they then say to you, well, prove it's fake. Well, how am I going to prove to you? I can show you things like I'm showing you. There are reasons why I don't believe it. But as far as like prove that it's fake, I can't prove that it's fake. I don't have that kind of ability. So you can believe it if you want based off their so-called evidence. But like we just pointed out, again, if you're willing to accept, well, no, I could see it takes 25 minutes to get one image to the internet. Oh, can you? Then you just aren't really a real person to me, because there is no explanation for that. If
I can take a picture and get it on the internet under a minute.
Right. And so if this one's coming from 22,000 miles away, based on light speed, it shouldn't be much longer than that.
Yeah, no, I can take a picture of a star or the sun, which is further than the Himawari. Right?
Right. And you think it wouldn't take that long. I mean, we know this is an automated process. Nobody's sitting at a computer downloading the photo and upload. That should be automated. So again, when you have problems like that, you need to ask yourself why. And I don't care if you still believe in the globe and think we're a bunch of jokers and grifters. That's fine. But you need to recognize what we're saying and say, no, I can see why they have that opinion. And we don't even get that. That's the problem with this whole thing, is that globers, NASA, scientists, want to dismiss this all as if it's some big joke. Joe Rogan, right? These guys want to dismiss it as if it's it's the dumbest thing you could believe, so therefore these guys must not really believe it. It's just all a LARP. When if you just listen to what we're saying and got out of your own ego for 30 seconds, you would realize what we're making is good points that anybody should make in a real world, unless you're so in love with the space agency. You'll never go there. You'll never go to space. You'll never go to a planet. Get over it. And just realize that it's okay for us to question things, because if we're wrong, then nothing happens, right? But if we're right, it means we're being lied to for years. So it doesn't hurt for you guys just to make sure that that's not the case. Not just assume.
This is what's weird, dude. Like, even the delays they say, right? Like, according to the distance they claim they are, it should be like significantly less than 1 second delay to the ground-based signals.
Yeah, I bet Jeran, Cami's Jeran, could write a program to send a picture 1 million miles on Earth. Send it back and forth between, Jeran and I and Austin in a triangle or something, just pick 3 random spots and just keep sending the picture.
Right.
I'm sure you could do something like that. And I guarantee it's not going to take 10 to 15 to 20 minutes or whatever.
No.
I guarantee it. And it's going to be zip, 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 and done.
And again, they just say like, oh, well, they have better things to do than, okay, it doesn't make, what we're asking for is not expensive, right? I mean, it's expensive for me. It's expensive for Austin, but it's not expensive for NASA. You're making
it's a push of a button for them.
And you're making $70 million a day. So, and like
dude,
we said,
186,000 miles per second, bro. Okay. 30 minutes? What are you doing, bro? You going to the edge of the visible universe a few light years out? Like, I don't.
They're bouncing it off those.
Weird.
Yeah, the one they have to bounce off Mars.
Even the ISS though. Why does the ISS supposedly have a delay?
I don't know. They have an 11-second delay when they're talking to them. It's like dipshits.
That's what I'm saying.
They're closer to me.
The math?
They're closer to me than LA.
You need to ask NASA. There's so many things, dude. Baller Austin goes in there, right? I just want to understand the math. Can you provide me the math for the delay and how I'm really getting ready for Artemis, and I just want to know what would be the delay. What's the fastest we can get? Like, what's the equation I can use to determine that it takes 11 seconds for the delay on the ISS? And they better send me some math with 186,000 miles per second in it. So, I don't.
How about for the Apollo moon landings?
There's so many things they get away with. If all you have to do is catch them one definitive time on record.
But this is why we don't have real journalists anymore. They're gone. There's not one journalist that works for any of these newspapers or any of these websites or any of these big news stations that actually does journalism, which is your job is supposed to be to reveal deception, to reveal corruption. Well, now they just work right alongside of them. So
yeah, but when you see what happens when they do, remember the editor of the Rolling Stone magazine?
Mm-hmm.
I forget when that was, 2015, 16, something like that. Yeah, his car just took off down the road all crazy and ran into a big tree or a pole or something like that. They said it was like swerving all over the road just out of nowhere. Just,
yep.
I mean, yeah, it's dangerous to tell the truth when you live in a world of universal deceit.
And
it's a revolutionary act.
CIA runs a media,
Like with Audit NASA, I'm going to keep saying it. It almost sounds like I'm shilling for Audit NASA. How though? Like all it does is cost me money.
Right.
Like I'm just saying you guys should go there. auditnasa.com. You fill in your application. We'll integrate you in. We need journalists. We need all kinds of stuff because they're not going to do it. And then the only thing that holds us back is like, well, how do you get it out once you get the video or the audio or the admission? Well, we got that covered. We see people are actually underestimating how thirsty for truth people are. Look at what happened to Justin Harvey. Did a 3-minute video about the ISS, got over 10 million views across platforms in like a few days. So it will go viral. You just have to get the info. You don't need to be New York Times anymore, right? In fact, that's a disadvantage almost. So I think that we just have to do it. No one's going to do it if we don't do it.
Yeah, the dinosaur media they're going extinct here real soon. Like as soon as the boomers, are all gone, then that media is gone. I mean, it's like 65 and up is the average age that watches the news. It's crazy. Young people aren't going to the news.
They better not be
anymore.
They better not be. So we wanted to show that about Himawari so people get that. I had to show this because Achilles brought it up. I just wanted to show it. So this is the webcams that are still up. Still the webcams for the South Pole. And this is ridiculous. This is why, one of the main reasons I became a flat earther was very early on finding this site and saying, oh, great, they've got all these, South Pole time-lapse movies. Well, what's the impressive thing about the South Pole? Oh, the 24-hour sun, 24, that's what you would have in your videos. And every single one of these doesn't have it. Not one of them. So January to April, that would be a time period where you should have 24-hour sun at the South Pole. And when you start playing, and if you get this bigger, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It's kind of hard to see. Anyway, up here is the time and date, and it's running through, and I'll kind of read it to you. It says, 0, 1, 2, 3, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 0, 1, 2, 3, 15, 16. What are you doing? Why would that ever be the case? So this is where you can either be an adult, you can either be a real person and be like, no, it doesn't make any sense that out of all these webcams that they've got, 24-hour webcams at the South Pole, that you don't have one video that shows us a complete day. It doesn't make sense. And if you are a Glober, you anything that comes from NASA, if I'm saying it, I must be wrong. I'm an idiot. I'm a liar. And what NASA does must be correct, so we don't question it. I mean, this is the dumbest position you could ever take. And look, you can see what's happening here is that this is going around. Here's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Why would you cut out it's not even the night, it's the day. You're cutting out the sun. So again, when I reach out to these people, I emailed them and said, hey, can you tell me why? And they're like, oh, we don't have enough bandwidth to send a full video. Like, what do you mean? So they're saying they have enough bandwidth to send only half the day. So I told them, I said, well, it would be better if you sent for a week 3 full days rather than 7 half days. Like, who wants to see half day time lapses? It doesn't even make sense. But again, to believe that they only have enough bandwidth to send a half a day's of video footage and not a full day, like, well, who is that retarded? It's just not the case. So I just wish more people, when you see something that doesn't make sense, say it doesn't make sense. Shout it out. And if somebody explained it to you, you can go back on your, now it's been explained to me. But when something just doesn't make sense, we have to keep screaming it. Because I feel like we get into these ruts where we're screaming something doesn't make sense, but then it's just nobody's listening, so we just go on to other things. And we forget that those things, it still doesn't make sense. It still does not make sense that we don't have a camera on the earth. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's almost like fishing, Jeran. It really is. I've noticed that you throw something out there and then you don't get any hits, Right. So you go to the next topic. Then you come back to that fishing hole again, and you throw something out there and, hey, I got a few views this time.
Yeah, I might need to do more of that because you're right. I think even sometimes I go back to my old videos. I'm like, oh my, I have to reteach myself that. I'm like, I totally forgot about that. I never mentioned that anymore. It's like, I got to go back to mentioning that because things like Himawari that we found, the problems with these videos from Earth, it just doesn't fit to me that you don't have a camera or an orbiting craft that's far enough away that you can get the whole picture of the Earth. Because again, you're not going to see that on the ISS. Even if it's real, 250 miles, you're seeing such a small area there. I wanted to show you this. I don't know if anybody's ever seen this, but speaking of the center of the world, have you ever seen what's at the IRS? You've seen this little thing, right?
No.
Oh, this is at the IRS. This is outside the IRS building. It's totally Masonic. It's totally got.
Jeez.
It's got 13 rungs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. and it's it's got the hand of God that they talk about, but it's definitely Masonic. It's got the black and white, same as the checkerboard floor. It's like looking into the entrance, like the
two
House of
pillars.
God,
Yeah,
the
you
two
walk through the
pillars.
2 pillars and ascend.
Right. So I mean,
That's the Masonic. Yeah, that's the
right,
tracing
IRS.
boards.
And then this is what it says: the Bill of Rights was not ordained by nature or God. That's what they wrote on the IRS
What?
pillars. Like what? Just and then they've got the pyramid with the capstone sitting right out front. Just crazy. When anybody like what bothers me is if you're a mainstreamer or you're a NASA fanboy, when we start talking, they act like we're crazy, like for saying that the IRS is a no good business. They're not, that they're not even legal, right? You're crazy. They have nothing bad. It's, oh yeah, they just got the pyramid out front and the pillars and they're Masonic, and the whole thing is just laughable to me that people can't see it. It's like they're afraid to see it, right? It's like they know that if they start to go down that path that they're going to fall into the rabbit hole, and they're like so afraid of that they just I'll just ignore it, which I think is just such a pussy move. I mean, we're going to end up leaving our children and grandchildren a terrible world if we don't do something pretty quick. So, and I get that our guest even said that it says in the Bible that this world's going to fall or something, it's not going to get better. Okay, even if the Bible says that, I still think we have a job to do, which is to try and make it as best as possible in case that's not the case, right? In case that we can make it better. I don't want to keep letting it go and being like, oh, somebody's going to come fix it. Somebody's going to come fix it. And then eventually it's unfixable. Like
It doesn't say to do that, actually.
I don't think I've never seen that.
And also, you have no idea when it is. And it also says that if a nation turned back to Yah, then you basically can get rejuvenated for a moment.
Right.
So yeah, I don't see any logic in that other than just an excuse to not do anything.
Yeah, I think we have to call it out where it is. We cannot let them get away. I mean, look what's happened in 5 years. We went from homosexual people looking for full rights as far as marriage, and a lot of us look at it and we're like, you know what? Okay, wait. They're adults. What they do behind closed doors between consenting adults, that's between them and God. Great. But this is now, look what happened in just a matter of 5 years. That it's gone from that to now the front of the display at Target is definitely directed at children and definitely, causing the degradation of the entire society. So this is what happens when good people say nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
When people feel like I don't want to be considered a bigot. I don't want to be considered this. So I'm just going to kind of well, then look what we have now. And if you don't think in 5 years how bad things can get at that point, then, I mean, I don't know. To me, it's like we are writing our own prescription for disaster. So
yeah, it says, do not partake in the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove.
Good. See, yeah. Right. Or reveal it, right? Expose it, yeah.
And people here in at least, the Midwest for sure, I know the Bible Belt, are definitely voting with their dollars. They're learning that, hey, we can boycott things.
Absolutely. It's and again, there's power in numbers for that exact reason, right? Just it's why the government's so big is because we all give them money. And when you get money from 300 million people, guess what? You can do pretty well. You can do a lot of things. So it's the same thing is that these companies depend on our dollars. And as soon as you stop paying, you watch how quickly things change. There's no company that's just going to be like, we'll just take a 50% loss and no, they're going to change but if we're not saying anything, then they think whatever the TV is saying is the truth.
Right? I've been boycotting Walmart for over a decade.
I haven't done that either.
It's just, I know it's just one little drop in the ocean, but hey, all those drops add up eventually.
Right. Yep. So anyway, we'll have, let me check the tips real quick and we'll see who's going to join us the week after next because we got Doug next week. Let me see what we got here. Did I mention a minimum? I don't even know if I mentioned a minimum, bro. I didn't. So maybe we will have to just take, it's going to look like it may be James Ritchie, $50 right off the bat. Thank you, James. We've got Sick With It, $20. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate what you guys are doing. Thanks to all of the GLOBEBUSTers. Thank you very much. And Commercial Sound and Video, $20. Thank you very much. So thank you guys for supporting the show.
Much love, Nathan. Yeah, I love commercial astronomy. He actually stopped over this weekend.
Oh, did he?
Came and hung out. Yeah, it was awesome. He's about, I think, 2.5 hours south down in Georgia.
Okay.
And yeah, we had an awesome day hanging out yesterday. It was kind of rainy, but we still went outside a little bit and played in the rocks in the river and checked out the garden and all that kind of. Played some ping pong. We got the ping pong table going. You got to come over, Austin.
I'll beat you. Now I want to go there. I didn't want to go there for Flattoberfest. Ping pong, I'm there. Ping pong.
Dude, I would smoke you, bro.
No, God, you'll get destroyed. All right. Anything else from you guys? Tell us what's going on with your week. I'll be back Friday with my show. The Journalism Show will be back. It's a little bit different, little fresh. Some new ideas, so it's going to be a fun show. So definitely tune in for that. I know I've got a video coming out this week. But I think that's it for me. What do you guys got going?
Same old. I'll be on Ironworks Tuesday and Friday morning, 5 a.m. Eastern. I know it's early. We get a lot more people from across the pond. And then as people are waking up here on the East Coast, they'll, trickle in. And then Friday night, I don't know what we have planned for a show Friday night, but we'll be over on Iron Rail Media Channel. Those are the 3 shows I do over on that every week.
I don't know. I
Nice.
just found something very strange. I don't know what this is. I found this document that says, I don't know, contact the I got to show you this real quick just so you can see I'm losing my mind. What is this document? All right, where'd it go? So I was just looking through these images, but this right here says contact Phoenix Project, the military route for infecting a nation with deadly bugs through deceit. So anyway, it's my life, finding things like this and then being stuck on a freaking rabbit hole all day. Oh, it's always the case, man. It's not one thing, it's another. It's moving from topic to topic. I have a list of like possible video ideas. It's like 2 pages long. I'll never catch up. Never ever. All right, go ahead, Austin. Sorry.
Yeah, so relatively speaking, tomorrow night, hopefully I have a new little song and intro ready, and then it's going Globers episode like 13 or 14, I don't know. Wednesday, so both at 9 p.m. Eastern. Dope guest coming on, Steven. Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, and then still ironing out who it is going to be on In the Fields. So yeah, all the same streams, and jumping on Bro Sanchez's show Saturday, I think.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm assuredly missing something, but also, yeah, everyone should like think about finding some way to kind of put their energy towards Audit NASA, even if just in principle or a donation or manifestation or whatever, because we're putting a lot of work into it, and I think we need a lot of hands on deck. But if we all come together and just kind of put some available time into each, it'll be dope. So I'll drop the link to it in the chat, and then I'll drop the little support link if you want to help that way. But
do you have a Cash App for it yet?
Say again?
Do you have a Cash App for it yet?
Yeah, $ Audit NASA, and we do have the Cash App, and then we have a little like pay.auditnasa.com.
Oh, sweet.
And just gets going straight to, we bought the portal software to facilitate all the tasks and missions compartmentalization, and we're making flyers and cards and merch, and also we want to make an app. So yeah, and eventually we want to actually just reimburse people for their in-person audits, and we want to be able to purchase number generators, and can't even say too much publicly, but there's a lot of expenses, but I think it's gonna obviously be worth it. So
well,
yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. At least someone gives some type of energy towards it as a truther, I think, to manifest it.
And as Achilles said, I think that I've never heard anybody use the war example, but it was good. I mean, you've got people who are doing this, and if people don't know, it's not as easy as just, oh, well, Austin and I aren't making enough money, so we'll just go back to work. I mean, hopefully people realize that's not as easy as you might think now. People do search the internet. They are going to find your name, and it's not easy. So we are on kind of the front lines of that war, and it could always use help, right? So any kind of help, even if it's $1, I know a lot of people might think, $1 doesn't do anything. It's not going to help you. Well, yeah, but if you have 3,000 people give you $1, that's much different. right? All of a sudden you've got a month of finances. So any of that would be very helpful. But like Austin said, if you can't, I get it, times are tough. Well, then at least some mental energy. If you can help out with something that you're
thumbs up.
Thumbs up works. A video share always works. Anything like that is helpful. You might not realize it, but it is. And it's something that this community is not great at. And I get it. We've learned that with like petitions. Petitions never work in this community because people are afraid to put their name to it. That's the truth.
Yeah.
So that means that they may not want to do certain types of donations because they don't want their name to be seen. So, we all have P.O. boxes. Reach out, find out the P.O. box, send cash. There's other ways than just to kind of throw your hands up and go, I can't, I don't want to be, I'm not going to help out. Because if we struggle and in the end we don't really win this war, which I don't think that is the case, I do think that we will, but it's going to be because of the help of everybody. Right? None of us think we can do this alone. So go ahead. Sorry, I don't know who I was talking.
I was saying, yes, sir. It seems, I just think the real ones know. You know what it is. I think they're a bit diluted. Sometimes people do get desensitized to what it takes. But hey, man, it's all good.
It's all good.
It'll all work out. And I think that just, like say with Jeran's show, like sharing it, telling other people about it and stuff, if you can't support or, supporting all the truthers with Rock Room, whatever. And that's his like special case. You actually, one of the most valuable things you can do is actually just put a little bit of time and energy into it anyway. So yeah. I think there's a lot of things that people should put their time and energy and even money behind out of principle. And I think it's probably good for you to do that. But hey,
yeah, and I don't like, because I know I've gotten in trouble before for saying things that like, but I really do feel like if you're a truther, and again, I know that maybe $100 a month sounds like a lot. I get that. But what I'm saying is, if you're considering yourself a truther, which if you're a truther like I am or like Austin is, it's like at the forefront of your mind constantly, right? It's pretty much all you think about. All you do is worried about the shape of this or the shape of the world shape is in like the condition, not so much the shape, but same thing. But you're worried about what the family that you're going to leave or what you're going to leave to your children or grandchildren. And if that's the case, when I say $100, I'm like, well, are you putting $100, which would probably be what? Let's say you need 3,000 to live off of. So you're talking about a very low percent of your total intake. Are you putting 1% into giving back to the people that are giving you information that you're out sharing? And again, I get it that it's not for everybody. And some people might say, well, what are you saying? I'm not going to feed my children. No. All that stuff would come first. But if you are taking care of all those things, but you also do Starbucks and you do fast food 6 times a month, and then, you just need to look at yourself and say, am I really giving back as much as I'm taking from this? And I would guess that most people would say no. Now, some of you are, like Austin said, the ones who get it. There's some people who go above and beyond and even do more than they should because they see others not doing the same. So big thank you to those people. And a thank you to everybody watching, regardless of if you give or not. But we're not just saying that because I'm trying to get rich. Neither one of, Austin and I don't want to buy Ferraris or Lamborghinis. We're not those kind of people. But we would like to be helped in taking care of the business that we're taking care of. So anyway, don't want to harp on that. It doesn't really do well.
And maybe a couple fruit trees.
Yeah, it's a fruit trees. I do want that. And I want a fence around my property so that anybody goes over the fence, they get shot. Anyway, let's close it out. Everybody good to give your final, Austin, you're done? I think so.
Yep.
All right, guys, it's been fun. Thank you for staying with us. We know we went another half hour over today, but we will get it in line eventually. So every Sunday, join us here. Is when's, I know Father's Day we won't have a show, but I think that's not till the end of June, right? I think we got a couple more weeks. And then we do have this summit coming up the 23rd, 24th. So look for that stuff to start coming out this week. And got some great people, some new speakers. It's going to be fun, Foundering doing the music. So it's going to be another good Solstice Summit is the name of it. And that'll be June 23rd, 24th. And it will also be the last time we're selling lifelong passes. So last time we sold lifelong and year-long. This will be the last time we do lifelong passes after this. It'll never return again. So hopefully if you want a lifelong pass, you do it this year or this summit. But anyway, more will be coming out on that. We for sure will hit on it next week. All right, any final words, anybody? Eru, we hope you get the AAA truck. Or I don't know, what do they call it down there? Get it? Anybody? No. Sorry. Bad joke.
Yeah, car troubles suck.
That's the
I
worst.
hope everything gets. Yeah, man.
It's the worst.
When is he heading back to Switzerland?
I
thought it was pretty soon.
Soon, I think it's soon. If I remember
Yeah.
right. So anyway, it'd be good to have him back. We haven't had him for a couple weeks. But I think that's
Absolutely.
it. Thank you guys so much. And so, James Ritchie, if you have Telegram, reach out t.me/Jeranism. If you don't, you can email me, Jeran at Jeranism, and we'll try and get you on. Not next week, because next week will be Doug, but the following Sunday. We'll have you jump on and join us for a little bit.
I
So-
do have one thing.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no problem.
Thursday night at 7 will be the first 7 o'clock Eastern, first GLOBEBUSTERS tech of this season.
Oh, wow. Nice. Okay.
Yeah, we got everybody that's good to go. We will put out a post probably on Wednesday to, let everybody know what it's going to be about and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, keep an eye out for that, everybody. GLOBEBUSTERS tech is starting back up.
Sweet. And you said Thursday, or is that what you said?
Yes, Thursday.
Okay.
7 Eastern, so I think that's 4 o'clock your time.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it. All right, guys, it's been fun. I remind you, please. No, that's my own. That's mine. What's the GLOBEBUSTER one? Be kind to each other. Don't lie to each other. Open your mind. There's truth inside. Thank you guys for joining us. We will see you next week. Till then, this has been the GLOBEBUSTERS. Peace.